Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Nonito Donaire.
Could this be the night? Good right hand. Other left uppercut. And down goes
Hey guys. I know today we didn't start at 8:45 with our little build up. So we're just gonna talk here for a little bit until we get, everyone talking about what power is. Um yeah. So, we've been talking about like power, and I feel like
I mean, there's different kind of power, right?
yeah,
You know,
but I don't think like people understand what kind of like what is power, and we want to get into like not the technicalities really, but the definitions. Would you say like
I mean,
because what do they say whenever you get interviewed? They ask you, do they hit hard? And like there's different levels of hard, not just like how hard they hit.
right. I mean, there's different kinds. There's people that are heavy handers, So, you know what? We just started. So let's say what's up to everybody out here. Aldrin, Atang, shout out to you. My gameplays. What's up, man? Plagiarism. What's up? What's up? And Skywalker too, man.
And H money.
Oh, dirty boxing. Good morning, brother. Yeah. So, this is the subject today. I mean, we just kind of like one of those things. We're just kind of, hey,
Well, we're setting it up, right? We're setting it up because this weekend, of course, better Biev.
better be it. Better be it.
Why are you saying it with an accent?
Better be it. Better be it. Better be it.
Okay.
Better be it.
And then just yard, right? Not yard.
Yeah. No, it's
Just
yard, I
yard.
think.
Yard with a silent E.
Yeah. Say what's
Okay.
up to Brian Guzman.
Yes. Yes, yes.
Just started all this stuff up, man. But yeah, better be it.
So because
Better
they're fighting
Biev.
this weekend, we've had numerous conversations. We are gonna do a film analysis breakdown of both fighters Friday. What was it called? Fortune telling Friday. So we'll have, we'll break it down. We'll do the pros and cons,
Right.
and our prediction and why those are our predictions. But we were talking about that, this is a power versus power fight, and we feel like sometimes because we understand that a lot of the viewers have never gotten punched in their life or never gotten hit in their life, never been in a fight in their life. And so we want to educate you guys on what power really is, and what it is and the different kinds of power, I guess you
Right.
could say.
I mean, there's different, right? Like different power. There's explosive power. There's heavy-hander powers. There's one of those that are just
Electric shock power.
no, that's the explosive power,
Okay.
right? And I mean, there's just so many type of power. There's physical power too. People who are just rough.
I'm waiting for you to break out in song. I got the power.
I was gonna say physical.
No, mine was better.
I know yours is better.
Yours sucked.
Sheldon, what's up, man? What's up, Rohai? Massacre, Hadouken. What's up, man? Just thank you guys for coming out here. Yeah, we're just kind of talking about power, just yeah, Mr. Ching. There's different, I mean, again, the physical power, like if you look at like going back to the old school style, right? Hagler was very physical, but he has heavy-handed too. But he was very physical that drains you out.
I know, but let's talk about the breakdown of these definitions though, because we want to be here and and teach people who don't also understand. We can't assume that any of them been a fight or that they understand boxing. Some of them just watch boxing because it's entertaining.
Right.
So let's educate them. Like,
break
what
it
do you
down.
mean by physical? Because you keep wanting to sing this song. Apparently, you have a definition in your head what physical means and who is the personification of the definition. That's
I think the physical guys would be like Hagler, the guy that just goes out there and just, and I guess you can put that in the heavy-handed section too, but Hagler was pretty explosive to himself. So he was just kind of, I guess, would you call an overall type of fighter, because he did have a great amount of speed in his punches, but he did have a lot of physical ability, just kind of drains you. He takes you he drains your energy out. You know, like those
How?
heavy handers. He was just right in front of you.
No, I'm trying to pull out of like just get out of boxing lingo for a quick second and come into layman's general terms. Like, what do you mean by he's draining you? He's not like
Well, he's
sucking
all
your
over.
blood.
Yeah, he's all over your face, right? He's just he doesn't give you time to breathe, right? And he's very physically strong that it's just hard to get him and hit him, you know, and take him out. You know, you just can't stop one the moment that he has his freight train going, his wheels is going. It's really hard to get him, you know. And those are the guys that are physical. I mean, you could put in a sense too. Triple G is kind of a physical guy, but he's also a heavy-handed guy, you know, but he just goes out there and drains the crap out of your energy. You know what I mean?
Because he's just so
Yeah, you don't have time to breathe. You know, you don't have time to just come up with a strategy to, you know,
because he's always pressing you.
he's
So would you
pressing
say
you.
that so is that different from a pressure fighter?
It's different because there's some pressure fighter that don't have power. Like say, well, they do have decent power, but not like the power that we would say a power puncher. You know, like say Figueroa.
Okay.
Figueroa's
Yeah, I was
right in
thinking
your
about Figueroa.
face. Figueroa's right in your face, and you know he'll drain the crap out of you
Mhm.
in terms because he won't let you breathe. But he doesn't have that power where you just go
Lights out.
and lights out. You know, if
Mhm.
he catches you,
Well, I
you
think
know. But
that's
you could say the physical guy and the heavy handers are pretty much hand in hand. But they're the kind of guy that would get you one punch, two punch, three punch, four punches, you
mhm.
know, and take you out from there. It wasn't like the guy like Canelo's, you know, where they're very explosive, like Tank Davis, you know, very explosive, where they'll just catch you once and you know, and that's another thing too. Another type of power punching is the one hit, one punch,
Hey,
one
let's
punch.
stay. Can we stay with the pressure fighter? Like you're jumping all over the place.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right,
so
let me calm
so
down.
you
So let's say what's up
believe
to everybody for a
okay.
minute here. What do we got? Um, what do
What?
we got here?
Ken Viper's here, Ray Mel Vlogs, Maharlika Mahal Kita podcast. Hey, I haven't
Yeah.
heard from you in a drumming for life. Um,
So
uh,
I think there's only
Rojai
two types. Hold on, go back.
Andrew
I think
Charles. I'm gonna put on the
Rojai.
air conditioning. It's
I think
hot.
there's only two types: clubbing and explosive. Clubbing would be Beer or Foreman. Yeah, there you go, Foreman, and explosive would be Wilder or Tank. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, there's that type of there's two type, yes, but I think there's like a variation, you know, because you could look at Hagler. He has explosive power too. You know, he could knock guys out with one punch as well, but he was more of the pressure guy, the heavy handed guy, and and he'll drain you out, you know, that energy, like kind of like a heavy handed kind of guy, but he also has those big punch that knocks
Well,
people
let's talk
out.
about Figueroa. This is interesting because you brought up Figueroa, and Figueroa. Okay, so Figueroa was actually supposed to be fighting Stephen Fulton on February 25th, right?
Right.
And so I don't believe it's solidified yet, but he's supposed to fight Mark Mansayo March 4, I believe. I'm not sure. But let's talk about like Figueroa's like movement of what you were saying that he doesn't let you breathe, right? Let's talk about how Figueroa was fighting Fulton. Like you
Right.
always.
And he changed the whole fight of Fulton's style,
Mhm.
you know. So because of the fact that he was right in his face the whole time, that Fulton couldn't use his jab as much or couldn't do a lot of things that he's good at. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's what it all comes down to is those, I mean, those type of guys who changes the momentum of the fight because they're just right on your face.
They don't let you breathe. Yeah, and we saw how Figueroa like kept pushing Fulton back into the ropes.
Right.
And just if do you feel like that's just because how tall he is, or like because he pretty much like was leaning over and like you said was not giving Fulton any room to breathe. Like Fulton was he'd have to step around him, etc. But at the same time, he just kept trudging along and
Right.
pushing more pressure. Right.
Yeah, and that's the thing is when you succumb to those things, it becomes a very hard fight. You know, I hate those kind of fight, but I like a good, fast pace kind of fight. But no, 100% when it comes down to that, those type of guys. I mean, who else were like that? You know, I mean, that just pressure you and you know, Baby Bull, Juan Diaz was like that. Juan Diaz would just go at you and just throw a bunch of punches, and he was like that in amateurs too. when I was because we were in the same time when we were in the amateurs, but he would just go ba 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 nonstop. One of those kind of guys, and he tires the crap out of you.
Yo, Shelton said Figueroa beats fighters with volume, not power. Well, that's what we were saying. Is that
Right.
Shelton? So I know you just came in G5, and Hustle Man. Hey, haven't seen you for a bit. The fact that like there's different kinds of power.
Like the physical power, but the physical power like Hagler, right? Who'd come in there and he still has that big punch and he'll drain you out. So we're just kind of breaking down the physical aspect of it. But when you add the heavy hand in Hagler, that's what made him uh powerful, right? That's what made him um the guy who has power as compared to Figueroa, who doesn't really have that power, but he has that physical ability to just push you, and there's nothing power in it. But when you add heavy hand into it, but the thing about Hagler was he not only just had heavy hand, but he did have explosive power as well. You know what I mean? So breaking all of that down, I mean, you know, yeah, Magsayo has power.
Magsayo has power.
He
Yeah.
has power as well. So
Do you
Magsayo
feel like
doesn't
he's
do well
wait? Okay,
against
so
pressure fighters. So this is what
Diego,
Diego has said. Magsayo doesn't do well against pressure though. Hermosillo and Ceja,
almost beat him, but it will be interesting how much Magsayo has matured. He definitely has the power to stop Figueroa. Now, do you feel like that's heavy-handed, or do you feel like that
he
like,
has explosive
shot
power. He has
has
explosive power.
Okay.
So this is one thing I got to do with explosive power. Okay, the remedy of explosive power is smothering them. And this is why guys like Mike Sayo has explosive power have problem with pressure fighters because they get smothered. Now you get the heavy hand guy, you can say Lomachenko's heavy handed, because he'll just drop hands here and there and he'll take you out from that. But it's also the pressure, but he does have that heavy hand to take you down and wear you down. But guys like pressure fighters, when you press them, they don't have the powers because when you're coming up close, you smother their power. You know what I'm saying?
Like their leverage is off.
The leverage is off because they need that distance, they need that explosive, and they need that the what do you call that, the velocity and the impact for their power to be big, like Canelo. you know so when you come in with Canelo and you just kind of smother those punches, a lot of it gets taken out. I mean, Bevo kind of showed that by pressing forward in the later on of the fight, that the Canelo couldn't really put his power in. And people can say that Bevo was bigger, but still he did take out a lot of his power by smothering a lot of it. And when you look at fighters who have explosive power, you can see the remedy for that is smothering them. But again, if you are in the wrong spot, in the wrong distance, when you get hit with those things, you're going night night.
Yeah. Just want to give a big shout out to Big Billo. Haven't seen you for such a long time. I miss you.
Billo, H Money.
Yeah. So what? Okay, H. I'm gonna give you Devin Haney, undisputed champion. Yes, 100%. Haney. It's Haney time. If you guys don't know, Bill Haney actually just started his YouTube channel. H, if you want to drop it in the link so then everybody knows, build up Bill Haney's channel, of course. We support everybody that's in YouTube. We don't pick and choose sides. If they fight with someone else, that's up to them. But yeah, give Bill Haney some support and some love from us to them. Please put that link in the chat, H, if you have it.
So
with the Magsayo Figueroa. Oh wait, can we finish that one?
Yeah, go ahead, guys.
Okay, so Figueroa, like the thing is, like he doesn't seem to freaking tire out with his pressure. Now with someone, okay, so you had Fulton, right? And we all understand that Fulton's build is different from Mark Magsayo's.
Yes.
Mark Magsayo is a lot bigger of a guy. Do you feel like with that, that he would be able to, I don't even want to say bully, but pressure Mark as much because they're not as Mark's not as tall as Figueroa, but he's just he's big, like wider.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Yeah.
Well, we're going back into the power. We know that was one of the things that takes away a lot. This is why the pressure fighters who have heavy-handed are more to look at, is because, like, say, Figueroa doesn't have the power, but he does have that pressure that drains you. Now, if you have that heavy hand, then that's when the power you can really see. Like Beterbiev, I think, has that kind of thing where he still has explosive power, or he has that knockout, heavy-handed, like Triple G kind of.
Didn't you say Darcinian was a heavy-handed guy?
Darcino was a heavy-handed guy. He was a very heavy-handed guy, but he wasn't the guy that will knock you out in a one punch. You know what I'm saying? I mean, unless your chin is up there and stuff like that. But let me read this one. Can you read that for me? Because I
The
can't.
cool thing about you is that your punches are so precise, and you punch only when you're sure that it will land. The counter punch styles are always the best.
So that's my style of fighting. Is I'm very explosive, and um I'm very precise when it comes down to it. But because my power is so strong, is because I time it properly. And that's also another thing that we can talk about is timing.
Oh, timings. Yep.
So power can really be so much more dramatic or so much more explosive when you time them properly. So, if you have other things in there, because I can't see far,
Yep.
but
No, just Massacre was just saying that he's an advocate for TBI, which is traumatic brain injury, and symptoms are off balance, headaches, forgetting, lack of focus, ringing in the ear, and nausea. Not talking about yourself, but yeah. I mean, I think that's a good one. Massacre will probably like cover that one day, because boxers, especially in the gym that spar too much, they need to know like
yes,
what are big things that they need to look out for in their health. But
right.
Massacre, I'll connect with you outside of this one. Joza, thank you so much. Salute to the family. 24-hour lover. I don't know what that means. Are you
24 hour.
OnlyFans person? All right, so let's go. Okay, let's go back. Marquis, what's up? What's up? Um, Rojai said pressuring Magsayo is gonna get Figueroa knocked out. Do you feel like Magsayo? I don't feel like Magsayo fights more so like better on his back foot, because
so when you pressure him and he steps back, when you get close to him, Figueroa is gonna be right in your face, so you don't have the leverage and the distance to create that power. And that's why I think it's gonna be very hard unless Musayi steps back where he can sit down and throw the punch. That's when he's very dangerous. But if you keep pressing him and he's getting pushed back and he's punching, he won't have that power because he needs to sit on his punches. That's his style of punching.
Okay. So, all right. So, rewinding, pressure fighter from the old school and one from today, who would be your personifications of pressure fighters?
I would say Hagler.
From the old school and today?
I would say Triple G or Beterbiev.
Okay. All right. So, let's move on to to explosive power.
Okay.
Why don't you explain what explosive power is?
Well, explosive power are the kind of fighter that have this fast twitch punches, where they can let the punches go and use all their muscle in a fast um fashion, I guess.
And those are more of the ones that it's just like boom, they get hit once and it
Yeah,
lights
you can
out.
say like Tank or something, right?
Mhm.
Or Canelo. Canelo is a big explosive puncher, explosive. Who else do we? Yeah, Billow says Spence too. Yeah, Spence is also one of those heavy-handed kind
You
of
said
guy,
Hagler.
and Hagler, but explosiveness too comes with like that's what I'm saying. There's also people who have diversity that like a little bit of everything.
Mhm.
And Hagler was one of those guys, and I guess you can say Spence is one of those guys too, because they pressure and they have those heavy hand, but they also have those explosiveness behind it. That's what I'm saying. Like with Hagler, when he started punching, he had not only that he drains you out, but he also had that punch where he can take you out, right?
Mhm.
Lomachenko is more of a heavy-handed kind of guy and a pressure guy.
Yeah,
Because
you were saying.
right. But when you look at explosive guys like Canelo, Canelo's
Mhm.
one of those guys where you just, when he lands it good, and he'll take you out. You've seen a lot of those punches landing and knocks guys out. You know what I mean?
So is there a difference in technique thrown, or is it the person's body?
It's
Is
a
it
person's
certain
body,
muscles they're
right?
using that's different between the two?
So it's a person's body and the way they utilize their muscles, right? So when an explosive fighter punches, their explosive power, their fast twitch muscles and explosive fast and slow twitch are all punching at at that are all are utilized at a fast pace, right? So the trigger is so fast, boom, right? As compared to a heavy-handed is it's like a rhythm, pop 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 pop, as compared to pop pop, right? That's explosive punches like pop. While the heavy hands go pop 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 pop
And they're
pop
just
pop.
heavy.
They're just
It's like
heavy,
you're throwing like sandbags at you, right?
right? Like say for instance, Joe George Foreman. George Foreman at a younger age, he was very explosive,
Hmm.
right? But now as he gotten older, he was more of a heavy guy, and he was just thud, 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 thud. When he knocked what's his name? Uh, I forget his name, but he just thud, thud, and he knocks people out like that. You know what
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
saying? So
Billow said Hagler and Joe Frazier. Now better be Vince Spence. That's Spence.
yeah, thank you, Billo. That's exactly what it is. Those physical heavy guys, heavy-handed people.
Hmm.
And the new age would be. I mean, let's go back to the old the back in the days. I think guys like Hearns, Hitman Hearns, he had that explosive power.
Hmm.
Boom,
Hmm.
you know. And then now it would be like Canelo, Tank, um, I mean, Inoue. Let's see who else. Boots has that power too. You know,
Yeah, I don't think he's heavy-handed.
No,
I think
yeah,
he's more
there's that more
explosive.
speed,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
So that's pretty much what the explanation is. I mean, there's a lot of things that goes along with it because in order for the oh, there we go, Rohai, Julian Jackson, man, that man is explosive. That's one of the people I looked up to. I'm like, damn, he can hit hard,
Shelton
So
said, "Don't forget Crawford." Shelton, don't
yes,
get your feelings hurt because we didn't say anything yet.
yes.
Oh my god.
So Crawford is explosive, but I think so. There's different kind of technique, right? So there's guys that can pull off the fast twitch muscle, right? Those are the explosive guy, and then you get the heavy handed guys, that beat people through sheer pressure and explosiveness. Pressure and heavy handed go hand in hand a lot of the times, and then the fast twitch muscles and the explosive guys are going more on the timing.
Mhm.
You see a lot of those guys. So I would say Crawford would be the timing kind of guy, and he'll knock people out. What's his name?
So now we have 3.
There's a lot. I guess there's a lot of dynamic when it comes down to it because you can say,
So you feel like he well it's just, so for Crawford, you feel like he has timing power. Is that even a thing?
uh,
But
but he
I
has
mean,
a
he's not
fast
feather.
twitch. It's
Yeah, and he's
fast
not
twitch.
pillow fisted.
So I guess when
Either.
let's look at it. It's fast twitch and heavy
Explosive.
yeah,
Yeah, fast twitch, explosive,
yeah,
and heavy handed.
yes.
Right? Because if you do timing and you're pillow fisted, doesn't really matter.
If you get them right, right, that's right.
Correct?
Or yes, exactly. Because you can say Mikey is more of a heavy-handed kind of guy, but when he times you well, he'll knock you out with one punch. You know
Yes.
what I mean?
I'm just saying, like, the timing, like, if you don't have any sort of foundation behind it for a fast twitch or heavy handed, doesn't really do anything. Because, I mean, I'm sorry, we're looking at Estrada Chocolatito, right? Like,
That's so weird, man.
and
Because
they didn't have marks on their face.
yes,
The day after.
for 12 rounds they were fighting. I just didn't see no mark in their face. That was crazy to me because they're supposed to be explosive fighters.
Yeah. And we didn't see any knockdowns or anything in the last fight,
Right.
right? And then the next day it looked like
Well,
they
in the
just
past, Chocolatito was very heavy-handed, and he'll drain you out. He was one of those heavy-handed kind of guy.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I think he was, he was trying to press the action against Estrada. He wasn't even trying to go behind a jab or anything like that. He was just trying to press, 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 press,
Yeah, I
press.
mean, this is so crazy because people can say, well, he's heavy-handed, but then, with the timing, he's very fast or explosive, right? So all of that can really change the outcome of the fight
Is
or of
Iron
style.
Mike Tyson heavy-handed or explosive or both?
Ooh, I would say he is more explosive than anything. Iron Mike is explosive than anything because he is such a fast twitch type of fighter. He'll go out and he'll do a lot of this stuff. and you know, I mean, you can see similarities, like say with Tank too, right?
Hmm.
You know, he does have the explosive power, but it's more like you know, Mike Tyson style is like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But because he gets in between those punches, that makes it so explosive. You know, the overhand, the uppercut. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, there's a lot of that kind of stuff.
Virgil Ortiz.
Virgil,
Ooh.
I think he's more of a heavy-handed kind of guy, though. You know, see, that's the thing is there's a slow twitch, heavy-handed guy, and then there's those guys that have just kind of an overall, I guess, what would you call a hybrid? I would say a hybrid. You know, Hagler was a hybrid. I'm a hybrid because I can be hard punching, I could drain you out and stuff like that, but I just chose to do timing and not waste those energy. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like like Triple G is the heavy kind of guy.
Yes.
Lomachenko, you know. See, I'm just like kind of like trying to break it down, man. I'm just trying to break it down. You know, Big Billow said Tyson is both.
So he's a hybrid.
Tyson, I think he's more of an explosive kind of guy though, because when he punch, you know, he'll he'll take you out if he lands it right.
Hmm.
I mean, he is heavy because he's just throwing all that stuff. I mean, I guess you can say he's a hybrid. I guess you can say he's a hybrid, but I guess hybrids more. See, this is the difference. There's just so many things that you can talk about when it comes down to power punching because there's a lot of dynamics. The body of a person can be both where he is fast, but then he's also heavy-handed. You
Well,
know,
maybe when we go to the gym today, we have Anthony hold for you for a power punch, a
yeah,
heavy-handed power punch, and then an explosive power punch.
right. Okay,
Right.
so
So then
we'll
you could see like, okay, these are the two. Like, if
yeah,
you
let's
hear
do
them
that.
or see the difference in how it lands.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, and also Wilder too. If you're looking at power, Wilder is very explosive.
Yeah. Really? You think he's not heavy-handed? No, I just like
It's both now. So you know, this is so crazy because
you
like
know, we're gonna drop the link and we're gonna have
yeah, let's
discussion
have a discussion
because
with
I feel
everybody
like
here.
I think
Yeah.
like Shelton's gonna say a bunch of stuff. Isaac Pitbull Cruz, heavy-handed.
He's heavy-handed.
That was
Yes.
easy. Give me another one that's easy. There's
Yeah,
a
please
lot
come
of
out here, man. Let's have a conversation because even myself, you know, have
because
this
I think like what happens is right. Like I think we sometimes do confuse when there's like a pressure heavy-handed fighter and then they get knocked down. They're like, oh, that was an explosive punch, but it's actually from the damage that he's been producing or putting on the person for how many rounds that
right.
not tired you out, but pretty much drained, like what you said, like taking
Yeah.
those heavy shots.
Yeah, I mean like there's fighters and like Callum Smith. I mean, he can be explosive, but again, all those are set up. You know, all of those are. I mean, that's why this is so many things to have a conversation about. So because there is, I mean, we can say everybody's a hybrid, right? But then
Mm,
you cannot because you can
no,
see
you can't because I
you
mean, I
see
don't think a
Triple
lot of
G is not a fast twitch person. I
no.
think anybody who can pull on the fast twitch is an explosive fighter. You know,
Yeah, exactly. Ding dong. I knew Shelton was coming. Hey, Shelton,
Shelton,
what's
what's up,
up?
man? So tell me your thoughts about this, brother.
Well, when you talk about heavy-handed guys, that would be more like my Foremans, my Ernie Shavers type guys,
Arnie Shavers,
even like an
definitely.
Errol Spence type guy. You know, those
Yeah,
those guys are heavy-handed. When you're talking explosive, like you said, I agree with you. You said like a Hagler, more explosive. A Crawford, fucking better BF kind of falls in the middle because I've heard from fighters that sparred him. They said he has like thudding power, the power that just stops you.
I
That's
think
that's
You
that's
know,
more
you
of a
pretty.
get,
heavy punch, I think.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
pretty
you
I
true.
get hit and it's like, oh shit. You know, that's what they said. They said guys get in the ring with him and they spar maybe 2 rounds and they're like, I'm done. I'm out of here. I'm not this guy. You know what I mean? So
right. So you're looking at a hybrid when it comes down to that, then. And
yeah,
then
and he
Martin,
has footwork and he can box
Manny
a little bit. So it's really a problem. You know what I
right.
mean? So, but I just think when it comes to that heavy-handed, thudding, stopping like power is more like a Foreman, a Shavers. You can even say Errol Spence because he doesn't really knock people out, but he just beats them into submission. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Troll said heavy-handed for me is being able to just punish guards. You don't want to get hit at all. I think that's true. When it's heavy-handed, like, I mean, just even keeping up your guard and not taking it on the face, but just, trying to keep you up your guard
He
and
drains
taking
you out.
just taking it on your arms, like it exhausts you.
Right.
Right.
100%.
I agree. I agree 100%.
I think it's very explosive. So, because of the speed. That's what I'm saying. Is like people who has speed that can trigger the fast twitch muscles are the explosive fighters, and those other guys who have this heavy hand who just can pull so much strength and push so much strength are the heavy-handed kind of guy. Marquez,
Exactly.
what would you say about Marquez? He's more of a, he's a rhythm kind of guy, but when
I don't think he's heavy-handed. I think he's timing.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. What would you call timing when it comes? I think he can pull on this fast twitch too because he can pull out that thing. So he's more of a hybrid too, as I guess.
Oh my goodness.
But when you look at
hybrids now.
everybody's a hybrid except that not everybody's a hybrid. Damn it.
No, Isaac Cruz is not a hybrid.
No, he's not. Triple G's not. Lomachenko's not.
What is Manny Pacquiao?
Pacquiao is more of a explosive guy because he uses a lot of the fast twitch muscle, but he also has that great timing when he throws that. When you throw that jab, he goes right down with that straight, and then
So
he
explosive,
but he also is very volume. You know what I'm saying? So I'm getting confused here on my own.
He's not a heavy. It's not heavy-handed and just like boom, boom. Like his is
No.
like
It's like yeah, pop. He's a little Uzi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what Pacquiao is. Roman Gonzalez. Now people are just gonna just keep.
Roman Gonzalez is more of a heavy guy. He's a heavy-handed guy, and he has that pressure too. So
Chocolatito, heavy-handed.
yes, Roman.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Need more coffee. Maidana, heavy-handed, yes.
Maidana is a heavy-handed. So there's those guys that just have those really fast
Okay,
twitch.
let's go back in the day. What would you guys consider Mike McCallum, the body snatcher?
Mike, I think I would say he's a little bit of a heavy-handed kind of
I
guy.
think he's heavy-handed.
He pressures you out. Those body shots. He wears you down. So I guess more of the heavy-handed guys are the guy that wears people down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
While
That's more of the guy that Errol Spence reminds me of. He's a poor man's version of Mike McCallum. Just beats you until he wears you down.
you gotta get your hook in there, huh?
Hey, nobody. Well, you know me, guys. Nobody. I don't think anybody in this era can compare to a Mike McCallum. Mike McCallum was a different type of cat. You have to have some kind of old school dude to compare to him because these guys they don't train like that. They don't fight like that.
Now, a lot of fighters back in the 80s and 90s, they had that they were made different, I guess, when you can say that, they were made different. They went out there to fight, they went out there to just make fights happen. You know what I mean? Yeah. Say something.
Yeah, no.
I'm just kind of confused because
why are you confused now?
No, because there's like the punching power. Like for me,
there's some people that can do both. That's true. But,
yeah.
Like the fact is, like there is a difference in the two and how it's executed and how it affects their opponent.
Right. So Hassam Ahmed was saying that he thinks Ioka is a heavy-handed, but when he knocked out Kosi, it kind of looked. What was that?
What? Do you want me to read Hassam Ahmed?
Yeah, I can't.
Kazoto Ioka got a good knockout over Kosi. I think he's heavy-handed, but his power kind of faded as he's gone up.
Yeah, he's heavy-handed, but we're going back that sometimes heavy-handed guys, when you have a perfect timing, it will look like you're a very explosive fighter. Do you agree? Yes or no?
Yes. I agree. What do you think? Do you concur, Shelton Moore?
Do you concur? What's up,
Which
Rick
I'm
Tail?
at the store. What was the question?
No, I'm saying that heavy-handed guys, when they time their opponent properly, it will make them look like they're very explosive because they knock them out with one punch.
What normally?
Exactly. I agree. 100%.
Are you wearing a mask?
Yeah.
Yes.
We're not gonna have a discussion on the mask here. I'm just gonna leave that alone. Sorry.
Yeah. So
I thought he was in Japan
The card is chip. What happened? I don't know.
or Korea.
Hold on
Right.
one second.
Yeah,
Right.
you're good. All right, so let's talk about who else do we got? Who else is there? So you said Sven. You said Crawford, Boots, Canelo,
Jermel's explosive.
Jermel,
Yeah.
not Maul.
Jermel.
Jermel.
Yeah. I think both of them kind of explosive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. Tim Sue. See you. Tim
Sue.
Sue.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're going through the boxers and kind of
Yeah, we're
putting
just kind of
them-
going through the boxers and stuff like that to see if they're explosive or if they're heavy-handed.
Yeah, see, I wear the mask. I don't wear it. I don't wear it for me. I wear the mask for people because they don't know what I got and I don't know what they got.
What do
Oh.
you got?
So I'm going
Shelton?
places that I'm unfamiliar with. You know, I'm going to the store I've never been in before. I don't know who's in there, and they don't know what I have. I don't know what they got, so I just wear the mask just in case.
There
Why
you
you
go.
should always use a condom all the time.
Good morning, everybody. Yeah, so explosive power. Tyson Fury.
Mm.
What do you think Tyson Fury is? Because like heavyweights, really, people can say they're heavy-handed or they're explosive, but then heavyweights are heavyweights. They'll knock people out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Shelton, what do you think about Tyson Fury? You're muted. He's muted.
Yeah. So, but yeah, what do you think?
Tyson Fury, you're saying that he's heavy-handed or which
What?
one? What did you say?
Tyson Fury?
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying. Tyson Fury, like people can say they're heavy-handed or they're fast twitch, but then they're heavyweight. Heavyweights, when you get hit with something, it's like getting hit by a truck.
I think that
Well,
he's
Tyson
heavy.
Fury comes into those fights about 70, so he's going to be heavy-handed no matter what he does. The guy's a big guy who can move. You know, you can't take that away from him, even though I don't like the son of a bitch. You can't take that away from him. He's a big guy who can move. He knows how to punch. He's been boxing since he was 6 years old, so he knows how to punch, and his punch placement is excellent. So he's going to hit you, and he's going to hurt you because he puts his weight behind his punches.
Right. Yeah, no, you
And
know,
it
that's
doesn't matter who you are at heavyweight. If he hits
yeah. And the thing too with explosive fighters is do they carry their weight? Do they carry their power as they go up in weight? Or which one
That's
would be
the
more
question. See, now
Right,
that's a question we have to ask because we don't. That's a question we don't know because see, Hagler never moved up, so we don't
Yeah.
know what he would have been at 75 because he never moved up.
right. Now the explosive guy compared to the heavy-handed guy, who would be more likely to be successful if they move up in weight? You know, what do you think of that?
Yeah,
I mean,
Rach, what do you think of that? Let's hear what Rach got to say. I know. I think I know what she's gonna say, but I want to hear what she has to say.
I think you know what I think explosive timing is the one that's going to carry up.
So explosive timing is the one that is going to carry up.
I think
So give us some examples, Rachel.
Yeah, I don't like using you. That's just like too easy. Literally too easy. But it literally, but that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, like people, if you just are heavy-handed, like let's pull like Isaac Cruz, right?
Right.
He's
Okay.
heavy-handed. And we move him up in weight division, move him up one weight, move him up two weights. That the power that he's carrying as far as being heavy-handed in that the weight he currently is not going to be as effective on bigger guys.
Right. Right. Because I don't think he's that explosive. I agree with you. I don't think he's explosive. I think he's just heavy-handed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Because his technique is terrible.
yeah,
Footwork is terrible.
He just tries to walk you down and you
Exactly.
know,
Yeah.
you know, knowing that he's very short, you know, and he'll come and do his bull thing.
he's short for that. I mean, Jesus. How
Now
tall is he?
now I'll agree. He's like 5'4", I think, 5'4". But his stamina is excellent. He has great stamina because he'll just
Yeah.
keep coming.
Yeah. Well, but that's the thing is like you could keep coming, but if you're not really making an impact on the fighter that you're fighting, if he's not feeling that pressure anymore because you couldn't carry it up to, I'm talking about, you know, like I said, the next weight division or 2 weight divisions up, and it really
Well,
doesn't.
if you notice, Rach, that's why he turned down certain fighters. You know what I'm saying? He didn't want to fight certain guys
Yeah,
because they can offset that.
right?
Yeah.
He didn't want to fight Shakur because it's like you said, it can offset his style. You know, Shakur would be running around him laterally, and he can catch him. You know, that jab,
it's
and
just
set,
off
the
the
hook,
jabs
the
on the
uppercut.
outside.
He'll just run into all kinds of punches. You know, and Shakur,
Yeah, exactly. Run him in all kind of shit.
yeah, why you running into my punches? Why you running into my punches? You know.
Yeah.
So, but now looking back, like for me, I went, you know, I started at 112, my first title 112, and I kept moving back up because I had those timing and I had those explosive power, you know. But it did got hard when I was at 126. It was really hard to take guys out at 126 because they were a lot more bigger than I was. But I did hurt them when I caught them, you know. So
But see, the
looking back,
difference with you, Nonito, is not only did you have pop and power, but you could move and you could box.
yeah,
So you can switch it up. You can give guys different looks and confuse them a little bit.
right.
They expect you to do one thing, you do something else. They expect you to do one thing, you do something else.
Yep, and be able to.
And a lot of people had you pegged as just a power guy, but you could actually box and move.
Yeah. You probably see more of that coming, you know, just getting my rhythm going, you know what I'm saying? So that's what we're gonna do.
Well, actually, to fight you, Nonito, that's actually smart is to jump on you early. Don't let you get going.
Please?
Shelton would kidnap me.
Because if they let you get going, now it's gonna be an issue. I gotta get you early. I gotta get you out of there quick.
That's right.
Because if I can't, it's probably gonna be a problem.
100%, brother. 100%. Okay, you're a smart man. I like you.
And Shelton, like, Shelton, what I tell you about your vibrator? Shelton always has a vibrator in his pocket.
Oh man, Fury just reminded me of King Hippo from Mike Tyson's
Punch Out game.
with the with the tape or with the band-aid
Just
on his.
say maybe the strategy is the same.
That was the best game, man. That was the best game. So
Marquis said, "Oh my god."
Yeah, pull down your pants up, punch him in the stomach.
So okay, so we go back.
Oh man,
who? I mean, if you put them both together, who would fight? Who would win?
Who?
The explosive or the heavy-handed?
That would be another topic. It would be like speed and power. You know, the speed and power would be kind of like that because it would be the explosive guys and the power. I personally think that the explosive guy will win most of the time than the heavy-handed.
Okay.
What do you guys think? Do you think heavy-handed versus explosive? I think explosive would win most of the time. That's my personal thing.
Okay.
What do you think, ma'am Ray?
No, I think explosive would win. It's just going to be
How?
By timing and having that one shot. But at the same time, heavy-handed punchers disrupt your equilibrium and your balance because of the fact that when they punch, it's just like thud, like
Right.
like so. Let's say you were doing a timing, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna time this guy, but at the same time, his punch is not just you're not just slipping his punch, you're taking like stuff on the arm and
Right.
stuff like that. I think that wears on you.
Yeah.
What?
Read that for me.
One thing to consider also is punch placement. Yes, I mean Inoue has a great punch placement. He admitted that he doesn't punch that hard, but focuses on timing and punch placement.
Now I gotta speak.
Speak.
I think he has a tremendous power, but timing and placement definitely allowed his punches to get more explosive. You know, like I was saying, heavy handed can be can be placed in explosive when you get the right timing and the right placement. I think that's what makes it a punching power to the maximum, I guess. When you place it properly and you time it properly, when that's when power really comes out. So um Marquis, I know he's a combination. He can be he does have heavy hand because he does push punches on that. But I think, when it comes down to power, he's very explosive. But because like earlier who said that, because he plays it properly and he times it properly. When you time punches properly, you'll go down. You saw me go down, shit. Because it was placed time and it was placed and timed properly. So he says, Troll, has power and speed and timing. He's a very dangerous fighter at the moment. Blame Nonito for actually being the only one to truly hurt that monster. Man, listen, man. That guy, see, that's the thing is that when you press the punches or the those kind of power and you press them and you when you get the right rhythm into it, then you can smother a lot of those punches. So for me, it was a fun fight for me, but I gotta say that he is more of an explosive fighter than a heavy hander. Let's see who else we got here. Yeah, but I mean, you'll see a lot of the fighters here that have. I mean, when you look at all the fights and fighters that we've seen throughout history, there was a big difference. But then you do see those hybrids. You know what I'm saying? So, but then when you see those hybrids, like myself, I can be heavy-handed at times, but I'm more into the fast twitch punches. I'm more into the explosive punches. Canelo is more into the explosive punches. Um, uh Hagler was more of a overall kind of guy where he had both. I think people here are saying Better BF. So we want to talk about this because we do have Better BF versus Yard, and that's something that we will be coming in on Friday talking about what we think and how their power will go against each other. Now, in my opinion, said do Inoue's punching power carry up to 122? I believe he can carry his punching power to 122 because I did, and I think he's the similar type of fighter when it comes down to punching. He is more of a shorter handed kind of guy. He had shorter reach, and maybe the more that he goes back up and the more he goes up in weight is the more he will be more of a heavy puncher because when you the fast twitch kind of punches, the explosive, they need that distance, they need that velocity and that speed to carry that explosive power. Now, being a shorter handed kind of guy at a heavier division will make you more of a heavy puncher if you can carry that power. But I think he can carry the 120. He can carry his power at the 122 division. We're talking about Inoue.
Yeah.
You know.
No, I think that he can carry his punching power to 122. That's not I think that's not for me that's not the question. If he can or can't. I think 118 122 is, it's not like he's jumping to 130.
Right.
But at the same time, I like I said, I think the biggest factor that is going to be in the game with Inoue and supposedly Fulton is the experience of fighting that type of style of boxer.
Right.
Right.
Shout out to Nimwell and on all the
Team
other guys.
Batman boxing.
Yes.
In my opinion. Oh,
yeah. So, do you agree with what I said that the shorter guys I'm saying that Inoue has a shorter arms, shorter
Mhm.
reach,
Mhm.
and if he keeps moving up in weight, will he turn into a heavy-handed fighter? Because right now he is explosive,
Mhm.
because he does have that. In order for explosive power to really come out, you have to have distance and velocity, to
Yeah.
create that explosive power. Now, the heavier that you are, the more that you'll become heavy-handed because you have lesser distance and the guys are bigger,
Yeah,
wider.
you're gonna have to sit um really within the red range a lot more, and you're gonna have to sit on your punches to make it affect your
Right.
opponent. I honestly think that's what happened with you. You had to start sitting more because the
Well, the guy
20
was wider. The guy was wider. The body's wider, right? When I'm
is that Carl's body?
Yeah,
Carl
Carl. You
Frampton?
have to go with Carl. When
His
he's
man,
talking, like,
his
he doesn't talk.
shoulders are like
He
that
talks
freaking
without
big.
moving his mouth. It's
But his shoulders are like
he
that
was like
big.
this. Yeah, he
He
was a
wasn't
bull.
that big.
He was a bull.
Goodness.
I like to exaggerate things. So, plagiarism said Mike Tyson. I think Tyson is explosive, but explosive puncher. You know, Bill was saying that he's more of a both kind of thing. He's heavy handed and explosive. You know, but I think personally he is more explosive than. I mean, he is a heavy handed guy because he's strong. You know,
Mhm.
but explosiveness is what takes people out
No,
in that one punch
I think
knockout.
it's more explosive than it is heavy-handed.
Right. That's what I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Who would win? Fight Fantasy Prime Deontay Wilder versus Prime Mike Tyson.
What I think, Morgan Alba, I would say Mike Tyson, because when you get inside the distance with Deontay Wilder,
He does
he
not
doesn't
fight
have that
inside.
power because he doesn't he hold on, we got somebody in there.
AJ, hey, what's
AJ,
up?
what's up, my samurai brother? Yeah,
Hey, what's up, y'all? How y'all doing this morning?
good, my man,
Good.
good, man. So yeah, no, we were just talking about explosive power, and now somebody was saying that under Prime Fantasy Fight, Deontay Wilder versus Prime Mike Tyson. I think Tyson takes that because Tyson is so much faster. And when you get inside on Wilder, he is not as strong as when he has that distance,
Mhm.
No,
and he
no,
has
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no, Nito, I'm with you on that. Like Wilder has no inside game at all. Tyson is like with his timing, his speed, his ferocity, his
the
accuracy,
head movement,
like the head
man.
move and everything. Like I give Deontay Wilder a round. That's it. That's
Yeah,
it. That's it.
And what?
Two at best. Like he doesn't make it past the
right,
round. Two at best. Like I'm sorry. Like a prime Mike
right,
was nothing
right.
to be trifled with at all.
No, and we saw it with bigger guys that he fought, and he took them all
Yes.
out. You know,
Yes, exactly. He fought a lot of guys who were much taller than him, much more longer than him, and he just broke these guys down to pieces, man. I mean, like one fight that stood out in particular was Jose Rebalta, tough guy. I mean, Tyson eventually got him, but like the that beautiful combination, the hook to the body followed by the uppercut. Like man, when he went down, he was like, "What the f was that?"
right. That's what Tyson was. Every the thing about Tyson was he'll get in there and he'll get in between. If it's
Mhm.
not to the body, he'll go over. If it's not over, he'll go under. He always find a way to get in between your hands. That's what Tyson had.
Yes,
And he was
yes,
brilliant what he did, what he
and
does.
and it's crazy because like past he stopped fighting. I mean, like his during his prime years, he kind of switched up a bit. He stopped kind of the peekaboo stuff. It's kind of like he became more of kind of like a macho type guy. Like in the Razor Ruddock fights, it was a prime example. It's like oh, you hit me, I hit you, and it's kind of like he just became like more of a toe to toe type of guy. And he
Mhm.
stopped like with the kind of like the peekaboo.
The peekaboo style and the how he moved the shift. He would peekaboo and
Exactly.
shift. Boom.
Yeah,
Peekaboo and
the
shift.
pivots, the angles, all that, yeah, everything like
Right.
that. Yeah. Yep.
That's what made him, the peekaboo. He goes left, right, and shift.
I know. I just
Boom,
think it's
bam,
funny
Hmm.
you
bam,
doing
bam.
it with your hair.
That's when you explain something. I gotta really do it. That's
No,
even when I'm
I
on the,
know, I know.
when I'm on the phone, I'm like, "Yeah, he should do this, bah, bah," and I'm all punching and all that stuff. So
I don't know who he was talking to on the phone the other day, and he was telling him what he needs to do, and I'm watching him shout. I'm like, literally, it's not a FaceTime. He's literally on the
on the
phone,
phone, but
and I'm
I'm
like,
doing it.
and he was like,
So
I'm
Uh,
doing. You can't see what the hell you're trying to tell him, right? Like,
yeah.
it's all
he,
good. It's all good. It's all good.
yeah.
I mean, the question for you guys, eventually, this fight was a long time in the making. As we know, Tyson versus Holyfield. Holyfield obviously won when they fought. If the
Mhm.
fight had happened when it was supposed to, let's say Tyson beat Douglas, and he fought Holyfield right after that, who would you guys have picked to win? Like
I
back in
would
1991,
I would go with Tyson.
Tyson. Okay,
I would go with Tyson because I don't think what's his name
Holyfield.
Holyfield was experienced enough to do what he
hmm
did in the
hmm
later part of his career. You
Yeah,
know,
because by the time they did fight, it's like okay, Tyson went to prison, but in the meantime, Holyfield is having wars with Riddick Bowe, Burt Cooper, um, George Foreman, Michael Moore, Ray Mercer, all these tough guys, and just taking the best shot. And it's like, and in hindsight, I always said this. I know it wasn't prep per se, but it's like his experience with those guys. By the time he fought Tyson, Tyson really had nothing for him. I mean, because like he'd seen it and done it all and had that experience. And even though he
and,
got stopped and he lost fights, he still had
right?
that experience underneath his belt. Even though he was 34 or whatever else, was like and Tyson was kind of like just even when he got out of prison, he wasn't really beating anybody top tier, so to
Yeah,
speak. I
yeah.
mean, so
Going down one, it was one round. I remember those days, man.
yeah,
One round, 2 rounds, 1 round.
knocked
You
out Peter McNeely, Frank
know? Yeah,
Bruno in a rematch in 3 rounds. Bruce Seldon, who honestly I think took a dive. I'm sorry.
right.
But yes, and he's getting like all these 1, 2 round, and 3 round. It's like, bro, you're not amassing enough experience to fight like a war torn veteran like a Holyfield at this stage. So
Yeah,
I mean, so prior, I'm with you there. I think Tyson would have got him back when they were
I
supposed to
think
fight.
I think so. Hey, you gotta dance with me, my brother. You gotta dance with me, man. So
Let's go. Yeah. Hey,
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 hey, hey, hey, hey, hey, hey, yeah, yeah.
oh, Sheldon is back. Sheldon is back.
Hey, super sticker from Brian Milan. Thank you
Yeah,
so
Brian
much.
Milan, it's been a long time, brother. I hope everything is great, man. Good to see you here.
Hey, what's up, Shelton?
What up, Sheldon?
Yeah, I had. What's up, AJ? What's up, y'all? I had to drive. I got a phone call about some work. I was just too much going on. I had to get home first.
No worries. No worries. We got you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but yeah, I kind of agree with what AJ was saying. I heard just a little bit of what he was talking about. That was the difference between Holyfield and Tyson, because Holyfield had been through all those wars and he had been hit and he had been hurt and he knew what to do when he
hmm
was hurt. Whereas Tyson had never been in that situation before. Because if
yeah,
you remember the Buster Douglas fight, he just got beat down and knocked out.
Yes,
He,
yes.
he
He
was
took us.
never hurt
Yeah.
and had to come back. So when he got hurt, was in a position to come back. He didn't know what to do because he'd never been in that situation before.
hmm
yeah.
hmm
So Stormy B-Man said, but Tyson didn't beat Douglas. No way around that. Never rematched him either. Tyson would have lost, quote, back then as well. Shake my head.
You know what?
Okay.
Fights and style makes different stuff, So, but let me say what's up to New Country here, man. Good morning, Rachel, Nonito, AJ,
What
Sheldon.
up,
Hey,
country? Hey,
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 hey, New
hey.
Country.
Hey,
What's up, brother?
Country!
Shout out to you, man. But yeah, you know what? Styles makes fight. Fight sometimes is different because of the style can go against the other. You know,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and the tenacity that Buster Douglas, um, showed in that fight
That
made
night, yeah, that night he was on it. His
yeah,
he had enough pop on his jab to keep Tyson at bay,
And
and
plus,
his right hand he
mother's
just kept
death was
clubbing.
fueling him. His mother's death fueled him in that fight. That gave him the
Yeah,
strength to win that fight, and he did. He did, man.
right.
He fought like an ATG that night, man. He was on point.
Yeah, and the thing too, what broke him down too is the guy in front of you just keeps getting up, and it
yeah.
drains you mentally.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but
Remy was
saying
saying Tyson was having sex left and right in Japan. Hey, we were talking about this sex
Yeah,
and boxing, man.
that's Thursday night.
That was a
sex
Thursday
and
night,
boxing.
Remy. We was talking about
No, every night's gonna be Thursday night sex and boxing.
sex and boxing, but we were talking about sex and boxing.
Sing it. Let's talk about sex.
Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me.
And Mike said out of his own mouth that him and Bobby Brown stayed up all night doing cocaine with hookers the night before the fight. So he was
Yeah,
he was in no shape to fight.
well, it's just the mental aspect of things, man. You know, when you go out there, you know, and because you can fight, he just took the guy very lightly. You know what I'm saying?
You can say that.
So
Yeah, because a lot of people did too. Nobody expected Buster Douglas to win. Nobody, practically.
nope.
Oh, we gotta do this one.
Vegas wouldn't even take bets on the fight.
Nope.
They wouldn't even take bets.
Hey, 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 hey,
Hey.
I'll read it. So apparently Valentine's Day is coming early. Teddy Goomba wants to give his love to the guy he's sucking off, who is Sean Gibbons.
That's right.
Much love to the Noi hero. So,
Wow, Rachel, like that? That's how you get there, Rachel?
so early.
Yeah.
I'm sure he loves it.
Right.
And I'm sure he will respond with the same amount of love you've given
So
him.
please keep giving more. I'll keep reading your shit.
Oh
No,
my
but
goodness.
wait.
Cha-ching! Old dirty
Hey.
boxing! Hey, hey!
Hey.
Oh man, much love to everybody out here, man.
so
Thank you
much
guys. Thank you.
But
yeah,
no, Nina, right quick. Like I gotta ask you, man, before I forget. The fight was officially ordered by the WBC. You please tell me you're taking that fight. You taking it, right?
We're
oh
not
yeah,
seeing,
man.
but
That's
my
why I
phone
said,
is
you know,
over tonight.
I made a video in here, and I said I am not relinquishing my part in fighting and competing for the WBC vacant.
Yes.
You know, so we've been reaching out to them, or not reaching out to them, but we've been waiting for the negotiation between their camp and my camp to have the talks, and because we do.
No, Richard's been talking.
Oh,
I think
okay.
Richard talked to Don Majeski, who was the guy that that Top Rank sent to the WBC, and they're just not ready to have negotiations yet. So negotiations still have yet to be started.
And they have until when is it?
February 17th,
17th of February.
and then that would be purse bid.
Right.
This is Maloney, right?
Yeah.
This is with Maloney.
Who said we were in negotiations in December?
Right.
Wow.
That's why I'm like, come on, stop with this.
Is
Yeah.
he the one? Is he the one to know he knocked out too, or is that the other one?
In the 8th.
Yes.
In the
Okay.
8th.
Okay. All right. Okay. Got it. Cool.
Yeah. That was
Well,
during-
you're about to do the same to him, so you know that's why I kind of want you to.
yeah.
So-
Exactly. But we
Will
just
this be 5, Nonito? This will be 5?
no, this will still be in the 18 division. So only
Oh, okay.
Got it.
But
Yeah.
the 5th would be at 115.
But it'll be my 10th.
It would be his 10th title.
Wow.
Smoke. Get
And
this.
somebody, and so let me say this. Somebody said that we had this argument. It was so hilarious to me. Somebody said that if you were going in and Tank were going in at the same time, Tank would get in ahead of you. And I told him, you're a fucking idiot. That would not happen.
Getting the what?
The
In
Hall of Fame.
Oh God.
Okay, let me Elton, let me just be honest about this. He's considering retiring soon, from what I've heard. Like he said, 2 more fights maybe. So I mean, technically he would go in
Before.
because you have to be retired 5 years. So if his timing is before our timing of 5 years, then yes, technically.
Oh, yeah, that I understand. That I understand. I'm saying if you guys are on the same ballot and you were going in at the same time.
Exactly. If they're
They would-
competing for that last
that's
spot,
what they said.
that Tank would
Yeah,
get the last spot. And it was
I
just
don't
like,
know
come
about
on,
that, man. I mean, I've accomplished a lot.
Yeah,
you know.
exactly.
A little bit.
We know
Nonito.
about that, Nonito. We know about that. You don't have to know about that. We know about that.
Let me, Nito and Maloney, let's go. That's what we're working on right now. You know, Richard is doing his thing, and the other guys, you know, the thing too is that, you know, he has a lot of paths that he can go to, right?
He has a WBO path.
So he has a WBO path.
I'm just, for me, okay, so I'm like half split about this, and then I want to go back to the Tank thing. The half thing is, why the hell were we arguing at the WBC if you were just going to go on a different path, right? So that's irritation for me. Like, you're wasting my time. Like, you shouldn't have just say, okay, well, I'm going to go the other way, because the BO was before the BC.
He was there.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. So you were number 1 in the BO, and then you're arguing with us at the BC. If he takes the other route and be like, you wasted our time. Like, why in the world did you even bother?
Well, because they were trying to make it seem like they can get it, or do the email champion or whatever route.
Oh, that's true.
So I think that's what they were trying to do. Just
How come
become...
he didn't ask did he ask the BO to be email champion?
No, I didn't go to that. I mean, I went there, but I didn't go
But
to
you
the.
didn't go. Smoke Guy, I was like, hey, so how was the ratings and the mandatory? She's
I'm
like, I
like,
didn't
I
go to
don't
the
know.
WWE.
I don't know what I don't know. So
He's like, I have no idea what happened.
But no, Nito, right quick to reiterate. So like your plan is to get a strap at 118, then go to 115 and do the same. And once you do that, you'll go back to 118 and go on an undisputed run again. Is that what you plan to do?
yeah, I mean, for me, going down would be just one time thing. I just want to get the fifth division and then go back up to the 118 or not relinquish my belt. Just go back down,
Just touch
get
and
the belt,
go.
and then go back and
Mhm.
try to take over.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's the game plan at least.
Yeah, we're not hanging at 15. I don't feel like I want to stay around. If he's gonna start to make 115, I'm just gonna buy another house and live over there. Because it's gonna be the roughest camp. I'm sure I'm gonna get bit at.
I'm not that bad. Back in the days, I was a horrible person. So, but now I'm a
Hangry?
nice
Talking about
guy.
being hangry?
Yeah, I was always
Oh
hangry.
my
I was
god.
always hangry, man.
Hangry. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
It was-
So Hassan Ahmed said thoughts on Bernard Hopkins. Well, my thoughts on Bernard Hopkins is I'm gonna beat his record as the oldest fighter to become a world
I think
champion.
he's
How
asking
about that?
power.
That's
I
what I
know.
want to hear. That's what I want to hear.
I know he said thoughts on Bernard Hopkins. Bernard Hopkins was explosive when because he had the right timing, the right thing, the right timing and distance when he had to, so he'd get guys that way. But I'm coming after his record and beating him as the
All right.
oldest
Because
world champion.
if you
So,
beat, because if you win the Maloney fight for the vacant strap, you'll pretty much beat your own record again by being.
Yeah,
Yes.
yes. I like beating my own record, bro. I love beating my own record.
That's the funny part. It was like you already established
Yeah,
that. Now
I
you're
think
gonna
I
bring
think
it
that
to
would
a
be my
higher-
fourth WBC, winning the fourth WBC. But you know what?
Yeah, but you win it as what, 38 or 39 was the oldest?
38. 38 was the
38. So
oldest.
38.
then-
Yeah, that's when you
So-
knocked out a Bali. You were 38 when you did that. You're right. Yeah. So
38.
So
And
I
I'm
have a question for you. I have a question. Do you think? All right. So in your last fight, in the sort of in the exit interview, your thoughts were that your nature overrode the game plan once you got there, right? You wanted to bang. The game plan was to box.
right.
Now, while I think you could probably bang it out with Maloney and probably Marinas too, because he hadn't really hit that hard. Do you think that you can toggle between first off, do you think that you're trying to challenge yourself? Do you think that you can overcome that sort of like nature versus game plan kind of thing? Or are you just saying, okay, my nature is to bang and I can do this with these guys?
I think so. I think 100% because I wasn't like that in the first place. They called me Flash because I just box and use a lot of my head, a lot of my technique and all of that stuff. And that was my habit. Now I created a habit when I started knocking guys out. Now I want to go back into the habit of boxing again and being smart. But being there in front. So when I do get hit with something, I can just box, hold, and all that stuff. It's just back. We just create those habits that you just go and do them. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the thing for me is being able to establish myself and my style to box all over again. And
Well, and I think like one of the things that we need to clear up, right, is that the game plan was to box anyway, right? We had an amazing game plan that already stemmed from the 12th round of the last fight, right? Anyway, part 1. At the moment he got hit, when he says that nature took over, it literally is fight or flight. Everything does go out the window because you're not going to be able to do that boxing style where if you just got, if you just touch the canvas, your legs are you need to get your legs. They always say, get your legs back underneath you. And we knew Inoue wasn't going to give him the breathe room to do so. So it's literally, all right, well, I guess I'm pulling out the knife or the sword or whatever I have because now now it's going to be a firefight where that wasn't the game plan, but we were put in that situation where for his nature, he was like, all right, well, I guess do it just
I want to rewind a little bit before he got dropped though. In the beginning, he hit Monster with something that I think Monster was like, okay, hold up, let me get a little bit more defensive, and I think that's when the brawler came out versus the boxer. That was like my reading of it. Do you guys have the same kind of?
I think at that time I was just kind of trying to get my body to warm, but I was always going to be a fighter, right? So I came in with the big punch, and I think I just kind of got into that momentum, like you were just saying. I think the big difference is going in for all my fights now is just being prepared every single time. The fight really happens before going inside the ring, and I think that that's something that we have learned, that I have learned. I mean, she was very
I hate it when you say that.
what?
When you say like to be prepared, because it sounds like if anyone takes this clip it and doesn't understand what we've talked about before, like I think it's it's weird, because it's not like we didn't prepare. We did everything that we were supposed to do.
Right. We're
It was,
100% ready. That in terms of physical stamina,
Yeah.
I don't think anybody could have, I was in the best shape of my entire life. I was in tremendous shape. It's just that again,
I think you just say that, the team that I decide is the team that's locked in and that's coming. End of story. But I
Yeah.
don't like it when you keep saying that we were unprepared. We weren't unprepared.
we
for
were
the
unprepared
situation.
physically. We didn't get the right team going into the fight. And a lot of our team kind of fell through and didn't show up. You know what I'm saying? So I think for now, that's something that we have established. For me, at least, I have to establish it before. And that's one thing that I've already got my team, even before this fight. Is even
We're not even in negotiations.
Yeah,
Our
we're not
team's
even
gonna
in
be our team.
negotiation. My team is already set. I know, but I do need a backup just in case.
Yeah, we'll get another backup. We'll
You
get the
know.
backup.
This is the first time I heard there was the crew wasn't 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Well, it's just, like there was a lot of, COVID was very interesting. You had business. So, really quickly, his dad was supposed to come. April was supposed to be the first time that we were supposed to fight. Then it got pushed because of COVID, right? Maratha versus Triple G got reslated for April instead of December when their fight got canceled. So that pushed us to June. His father was scheduled late April after the fight to do a full knee surgery. And because April didn't happen, he still went through with the surgery. And we submitted his business visa for Japan, et cetera, et cetera. He's like, I probably could still make it, blah, blah, blah. But by mid-May, he said he couldn't. Now, the problem with that being is that when you're trying to get a business visa for Japan, you're not going to do it in 24 hours. You have to get something from Japan that has to go to the consulate.
Well, I was very hopeful too. I was very hopeful that my dad was going to be there, because I felt personally going into that fight, I was going to beat him. Personally, I was mentally ready. I would personally have that big confidence that I'm going to beat him this time. And so I wanted my dad to be there, and I didn't want any substitute, because this was my biggest fight and I wanted him to be there, and I think that was me just being hopeful that everything was going to go according to plan.
Yeah. So that's why we said, like, from now on, like, once we sign the fight, we're locking in our entire team. I don't want to hear this BS about, like, oh, maybe I can come, because if that part falls and he was such
You're
a
gone,
your whole team falls apart. Like, everything falls apart, especially if that's what you were betting on.
Yeah.
That he was going to come. And it wasn't something like, oh, a Cutman where, I can get like Stitch or someone, like if Basil couldn't come. This is someone who his rhythm and timing and the way that he holds the mitts for him has to be they have to flow together.
Yeah.
So it's not something you just pick off the streets and say, hey bro, can you hold mitts for me for my fight?
Right. So that's the thing, is that those are very important, because as you can see, you go in the fight and you're not warmed up, things can go wrong really fast, so
Yeah.
but it is what it is,
Now, Nonito, like, one question for you. That I think you post fight, you said when Noe put you down in the first round, was that really the hardest shot you ever were hit with?
It was not the hardest shot, but it was the perfectly placed and timed shot.
Mhm.
Like the ones he got me after that, he sat down on them. Those were harder shot, but
Got it.
they were in a place where he hit me to the jaw, where the bones, where the first punch got me in my temple, where I thought I slipped, because I just blanked out in that split seconds. I didn't know what happened. I got back up and I was like, "What are you counting, bro? I slipped." Right?
Wow.
Yeah. So those were the kind of things that happens when you get hit with a perfectly timed punch, regardless what it is. And this is one thing that we're going about with power and the likes. When you if when you time and you place those punches at the right spot, you can take people out easily, or you can take them, you can drop them. Even if you don't have that power. So but yeah, that was a shot that was perfectly timed, perfectly placed, and I blanked out in that second, a couple seconds, and I got up and the referee was like counting me, and I look at Rach and she said, "Put your hands up." I'm like, "Why?" I'm like, "Oh shit, I got dropped." So that's what happened from that point on. It was just a question, how the fuck did I get dropped? And that was me battling myself from that point on. So yeah, man.
All it takes is one.
Like,
All it takes is one.
Let me see. I'll put this one here. This is something that we're gonna be doing is Kamal Oz said, has Nonito given his breakdown and prediction for Fulton in New yet?
When it gets fully announced and when the date is and when it gets closer, we don't want to kill that whole, taking the wind out of that sail already. We have so many other fights like the Better Biev and the Yard that we need to do. And then I believe we have we're going to the Vargas fight, right? And then so there's a lot of fights that we want to discuss and not, take away their shine. We want to give all the boxers that are, putting up these cards, or promoters putting up the cards, but the boxers showing up in the ring, their respect and break down their fights. And as that gets closer, for sure, we'll be doing that kind of breakdown and have those discussions on them.
Edward Plex said, "Do you aim to take the wind out?" It's like a body shot, right? Is that what it means? Like to take the wind out, or is it to pressure them?
That's what I'm.
Because we were talking about pressuring and taking the wind out, but if you're talking about body shots and stuff like that, I think that's a very good arsenal to have. Is to be an overall fighter, going in from the top and the bottom. Makes you very, very formidable and hard to fight.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know what he means by that, but I saw that's probably not to be true, people, but I'm confident Donaire beats Maloney easy.
Thank you.
Me too. Me too. Me too.
I honestly think, like I said, it's a smart move for Maloney if he does go the other way, because of the fact that if I was Maloney's manager and seeing how one shot can change the game with Nonito, regardless of what happened with the last Inoue fight, I think that a lot of them will. I think that it's too much of a risk, and coming back with a WBO championship and Nonito having WBC would be a better negotiation tactic to have a major fight.
Yep. And appreciate y'all keeping the boxing chat going. T. Orlando Pearson, man, thank you, brother, and thank you for always coming out here, man, having a conversation with us, man.
Because if Maloney doesn't take the fight, they'll just move on to somebody else, right? Who's the next guy?
Well, they have another option, which is the WBO, because he is number one in the WBO.
No, for us, for BC, then
for me,
he
for
would
the
have
WBC,
to vacate his position in
he
the
has
WBC,
to vacate his position, and then they have to have a replacement, maybe the next guy in line to fight me.
Okay.
The WBO will look at WBC will look at the rankings, top 5. It's not necessarily the next in line.
Yeah, I mean, top 5,
Yeah. So we just gotta wait to see. Like I said, I keep looking at my phone. That's why I keep looking at my phone, because the order came down on Sunday. It is now Tuesday at 10:18 a.m. in Las Vegas, and I'm assuming that they're in their offices and they took their time on Mondays to read their emails. So I'm like,
I'm a little bit behind. What order came down?
Where Inoue, sorry, Jason Maloney
WBC
and Nonito have to start negotiations, and if nothing has come by February 17th, it'll be a purse bid.
Yes.
So this is the official start of the clock for negotiations, and it's
wait a minute. This is a purse bid for a vacant.
Yep.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, go ahead, Jam. What the hell? Talking to say, okay.
Yeah, so that's what we're talking about. The 10th title now. Remy said Arthur Biterbie versus Yard and Benavides versus Plant. That is on Friday.
Nonito Damos.
Nonito Damos
Yes.
is gonna be making his prediction.
Yeah, and we'll pull up,
nice.
fights and break it down that way too. We're not just
Right.
gonna say this, and that. We're gonna show like Nonito loves using his what is this? The Wacom pad that has.
Yeah, I draw in
he
this
likes
thing.
to draw his arrows and stuff, and so we'll be bringing up different fights of both fighters, and putting them up against each other about who can win and how,
Right.
on Friday at 9, same time.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
I think it. We gotta go look back into all the guys' fights, because sometimes some guys actually just memorize this stuff. They'll just talk about it like it happened yesterday. Like they watched the fight yesterday. It's crazy to me, man.
No, but I also think like, hey, we're on YouTube. We're not on a podcast on Spotify. Like visuals are always good, right? Like we don't need you shadow boxing with the camera up
I
again.
had
Like, and
to.
you're
Bam,
trying to
bam,
explain it to them. Like
bam,
at least we
bam.
could show them through like past fights that they have had, exactly what we're talking about, so you can visualize what we're talking about. So we'll be working on those videos and then present it on Friday.
You wanna see if we have with the what's it called with the last fight, Liam Smith versus Eubank.
What about it?
Let's do it.
What are we doing?
Let's do it. Just
What
do
are
it.
we doing?
Huh?
You have to tell me
how he did, how he was able to get away, how he was so well, how he did so well in the third round.
We got okay, but if we take off our headset, we can't hear them.
That's okay. We'll just do it like this,
Oh
okay?
my God. Why are you
We're not
guys?
going anywhere. We'll be right
I'm
here.
gonna smash them.
Yeah.
Okay, you're
Oh,
gonna
boy.
Okay.
I don't have to stand up.
No, you don't have to stand
No,
up.
I
Okay.
don't. Why do I don't
All right,
want to get
okay,
hit?
So he would go. I'm just trying to.
Okay, go ahead. I'm
So
listening
he
to
would
them.
go this way, right? So you're.
Oh, I'm actually.
Yeah, you're
I said
Liam
I didn't want to
Smith,
get hit.
right there. Put your hands up.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm right here. Now this what in the third
This
round,
doesn't
I
make
think-
sense. I'll stand up. Jesus Christ.
Okay, I told you.
Do I
see?
have to stretch?
Yeah, go stretch.
Oh
Yeah.
my God. Okay.
Make it rain. Make it rain. Make it.
Okay.
So he would do this.
Who am
right?
I?
You're Liam.
I'm Liam. Okay.
Okay.
So if I'm Liam,
I'm Eubank. Okay. This is just an example of things. So Liam would do. Okay. You know what? You Eubank. How about that? You Eubank right there, right? I'm Liam.
I don't know how to do Roy's thing.
Okay. I'm Eubank then.
Oh my God.
You're Liam.
Yes, I'm
Okay.
here.
So I will go this way, right?
You're Eubank.
Now, when Eubank throw his hand over here, that's what thing would do. Liam would do,
Mhm.
and he would open them up here. But when he was going here, every time he jabbed and stepped this way, Liam couldn't do nothing. So I'm just giving that example because I want to see if it does work. Anyways, that was the thing. Yeah. So
Round of applause.
Yeah, so that's the thing was when Eubank was an example of it, because we're probably gonna do something like this.
What? We got to do it again?
No, not again. I'm just saying.
Better be a vineyard.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was basically what we were trying to say, was the way that Eubank was the third round was amazing, right? It was going to Liam's left shoulder to the blind side, and then he was able to set up those. I mean, how many uppercuts did he land?
Yeah,
in
because
the
you
third
can't
round?
see from that corner because of the way Liam had it, so he would just go and throw it.
Hey, upper
Yeah,
echelon
uppercut. I was
said,
gonna say
"My
that. Hey, by
overhand
the
right
way,
is good."
she can crack. This girl can crack. She's not somebody to mess with, by the way.
My overhand. I don't super like
Your
overhand.
your overhand was good.
I know, but I don't
it
super
looked
like
good.
overhand. I like it's straight.
like
My
Rachel-
shoulder-
Rachel, you boxed amateur, right?
Yeah.
Or-
No, I was a taekwondo
No,
fighter.
she's a
but-
taekwondo
Oh,
fighter.
Taekwondo. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, but my background though it wasn't. I didn't turn Olympic style until I was older, about 12. And my basic foundation was actually ITF style, and one of the black belts was Eddie Croft. So he was a professional boxer, and he fought Jesus. I always mess this up. Wasn't Marquez
Morales.
Morales? He fought Morales.
Oh, it's just one of those time again.
Go.
Yeah.
What happened?
What
You
happened?
didn't press it.
Oh, I didn't press it. Hey!
Hey.
Hey! Remy, perfect. Well done. No one was hurt. Trust me, man. The first time I met this girl, I said she couldn't kick. I let her kick me with a little pad, and she messed my rib up for about 3 months, man.
You
So,
said I couldn't kick. It was
well,
your
you
fault.
know, that's me egging her on, and
Don't judge a book by its cover.
yeah, man, I'm telling you, her when she's questioned, that's a different story because she will tell you that you are wrong.
You are wrong.
You are wrong. That's you gotta just be like,
That's why boxing is so
yeah,
fascinating, because a lot of boxers look like they can't punch, but
Mhm.
but a lot of them are. Is like, take a Regis Prograis, for instance. That guy looks like he can't punch you. Like, I'm sorry, he just has such an unassuming appearance.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
yeah, man.
Same
You
thing with
know,
Same thing with Inouye. Him too. It's like, I show casuals. I'm like, oh, he's a boxer. I'm like,
yeah. With me, when I got my glasses on and everything, no one could really. I mean, no one could really tell.
Yeah. No, you look like a nerdy Asian for sure.
Wow. Okay.
Eubank was caught in that triangle no man's lane. He didn't have the athleticism to get out of it. What do you think of that?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
So
Again,
yeah, go ahead.
go ahead. Go ahead.
No, it's all you, because I'm going to change stuff. Go ahead. I wanted to ask you something else. But so if you're still talking Eubank, Chris Eubank Smith, then I'll ask after.
Yeah. No, I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, that's pretty much what it comes down to.
So yeah, I missed the you guys is maybe you went live once or twice and you may have already covered this, but I missed the story of the fight in Philly.
Oh,
But what happened? Like, can I get a summarization? I don't want to derail the conversation.
We went to Philly, and we flew into Philly, but then where we were staying in the camp house and the hotel we were in was in Williamstown, New Jersey. Which it only took us about 30 minutes for a drive.
Yeah,
it wasn't that far, but it
wasn't
was
far.
it was like a border town, right? So the first night that we were there, we went to a restaurant. They didn't want to serve us, so we went to the bar, and then like kind of pretty much was up in their face, and we're like, "Hi, can we get something?" Anyway, we already felt some type of way. So we ended up going to a bar after that same night, and the bartender was really sweet, and she's like, "Hey, tomorrow's karaoke, come back." And we're like, "Yeah," because we're Asian, so thanks for inviting us. So we go home, we go see Boots the next day, we watch sparring of the Price Sons, and then we go back to the restaurant. We actually go with YB. YB came out for a quick sec, and we were doing karaoke and everything. And there's this guy that sat across from me and was weird, and he just kept staring at me. He's like, "I thought you were my ex-wife." I was like, "Yeah, no." And he's "Are you Laos?" I was like, "No, I'm not Laos." And we go through this whole thing that I'm not Laos, right? And then so randomly, this waitress like play slaps him, and I'm like, I should get a free shot because you were totally profiling me. And so of course Nonito's like tugging me. He's like, "You're not gonna hit him." I was like, "I'm not gonna hit him." So he's like, "Let me see how hard you hit." So he put his hand out like this. And I was like, "Actually, I need you to do a double like boxing like this, right? I need you to brace it." And he's like, "Okay." So he braces him. We do like power slap, right? Like, but on his hand. And he's like, "Yeah, no, you're not touching my face." Anyway, on the way back to go see Nonito, because it was around the bar, there was 6 Caucasians on the corner, and the female like put her arm out and blocked me because it was literally bar, chair, wall. So I had to pass there. And she's like, "You don't put your hands on a white man." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "Dude, this was all in fun. He's buying me a shot. Like, I was like, "You don't understand the backstory." And we were all just having fun, like
Right.
acting like I slapped him in the face, but just basically me touching him.
Wait, hold up a second. Wait a minute. She was gatekeeping white people? Is that what's happening?
Pretty much.
They were like this. They're like, she literally like moved her chair back. If this was the bar, she moved her chair back and was like, like would not let me pass. And I was
broke
like,
her arm. I would have broke her arm.
well, yeah, that probably would have been a thing.
Anyways,
but
go ahead.
I was trying to,
De-escalate. Yes,
de-escalate the situation, because I'm like, literally, I'm boxed in where she is, and then her like 3 guys that are with her, two other females. And they're all like chattering, talking mess to me the entire time. So I'm like, okay, like let me just. I was like, blah 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 blah. So anyway, so I finally go back. Nonito was like, who are you talking to? Why were you talking to them? I was like, trying to de-escalate a situation. He's like, there's no de-escalating with those type of people. And I was like, I understand, but at least I was trying, right? Because if I had gotten in a fight right then and there, first of all, Nonito's and YB were a ways away. So I would have been jumped by 6 people in a matter of a second before they came. So I was like, I'm just trying to de-escalate. So he's like, what happened? And when I was saying what was happening, 2 of the females I think were going to go out for a smoke. Like I said, it's literally bar, chair, wall. So now they have to pass us to go get a smoke. And I'm like, she was talking shit. And then she ended up coming at him and tried to swing at him, and he caught one of her nails on his lip, like
whoa,
right here. And then at that point, that's where he grabbed her like this.
Grabbed her. Yeah, grabbed her by the shoulder and the neck, so she wouldn't do nothing. She was just like this the whole time. And then the dude was like, "You don't put your hand on my woman or whatever." And I did the same thing to him. I grabbed him. Like it looked like I had 2 puppies on their necks, just like this. So that's pretty much what happened. And then the security came in, and then she goes in the back of the other guys, and then choke motherfucker out.
wait. Hold on. Wait. You can't yada the show. Hold up. Wait a minute. Who got choked? Who got choked? The assailants?
One of them.
So one of them in the back, they were trying to go after me, but I got both of them like this, right? Like this. And then the other guy was trying to go from the behind the guy I grabbed. She was behind him. And then the guy she was next to, she just like grabbed him and choked him. And then the guy
I was channeling my sons. Okay.
Yeah,
whenever I've seen them like with an open neck and they just snatch it. So I just snatched it and locked it and then pulled it.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So that's pretty much what happened to, yeah.
It's why I typically don't go to bars.
Yeah, no, it was fun. It was
and then at the end of it, then you find out you messed with the wrong one. This the moment you knew you fucked up. When keeping it real goes wrong, right? Like, I don't know what the hell this is.
So basically, what I'm understanding is you and Nonito beat up on 3 defenseless white people.
Well, four.
What is it?
We were deflecting the situation from getting worse.
Yeah, we were calming everything down. I grabbed them by the necks or their shoulders.
They thought they had some Vicks, right?
This is a de-escalation.
I'm assuming they're all bigger.
That would actually have been worse. But restraining someone to
I was restraining them.
Do as much damage as could be done.
So I'm assuming obviously they did not know who you were.
No, they didn't know.
No.
The guy that they were what's it called, protecting his honor as a white man, right? The guy that he was cool. He had our back. That's the funny thing.
He actually ran around.
Yeah, he ran around to protect
and was
us.
trying to help us.
Yeah, trying to help us. So that was a crazy thing.
Yeah, and then
he knew who I was.
Yeah.
Well,
that's after he found out that we were Filipino. After the 20,000 guesses of what kind of Asian I was.
Yeah.
Then he figured out Filipino. Then it clicked to him. He was like, "Wait a minute."
Yeah.
And he was like, Is he Filipino? I'm like, yeah. And he goes,
is he?
Yeah. Then he goes, is he Nonito Donaire? But we're having this conversation and they're over there.
Yeah.
The funny part is after we're thinking we're gonna get dragged out. There's no way we're not gonna get dragged out. They didn't drag us out. It was the group of 6. And I was like,
yeah, and that white dude was really cool with us. You know?
And he goes, what
and everybody
happened?
around, the bartender. I mean, they were really cool with us. So I don't know why they were, acting that way.
You know why?
I know,
But the guy, the guy that they were defending, the one that I'm not supposed to touch a white man. When they all got escorted out and he was still on our side, he was like, "Dude, what the hell was that about?" I go, "It's your fault." And he's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "They were defending you, saying I should have never put my hands on you." He's like, "I don't know them people."
Yeah,
and I was
exactly.
like, "Yeah." So
Remy said, "Nonito, that sounds like fun. Been there many times, de-escalating." Yes.
Yeah. Some people that they only learn one way. What the hell?
Oh man, I know.
I think also because, like you said, like you have 2 little Asians sitting at a bar. It sounds like a beginning of a joke. And then YB and
the joke's on them.
And there were 6 of them, and the guys weren't small. Like Nonito's 5'7". these guys had to be like 5'9" and probably about a good 180.
Maybe. Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
they
They
were,
thought they were some bullies. They made
Yeah.
them fucking bullies. I got it.
yeah. So I mean, it was in, but having that interaction on the restaurant the night before, where they were trying to ignore us and not want to serve us, like we already kind of knew the mentality of this town. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? We were gonna meet people that were cool, like the bartender and the other dude. But and for the most part, the ones in that bar, I'd say within that bar, probably about 85 to 90%, we were cool with people. The
Yeah.
karaoke guy,
They were
the
really
people that
cool
were
with us.
singing,
Yeah.
everyone was cool with us. It was just this random group that came in 15 or 20 minutes
Yeah.
before that whole slapping event.
Right. Right. So yeah, let's go back to boxing.
That was
Yeah.
boxing.
Sorry.
it-
Just one thing I want to add. Like, if she told me, "Oh, don't, you can't put your hands on a wife," I'm like, "Why? What you gonna do about it?"
Right.
Yeah. I know, but like I said,
well,
I
that's
was,
when you get jumped by 6 people. That was the
that's
whole.
what I was trying to not like.
Yeah.
like,
No, I know.
The answer is get jumped by 6 people. Like
You
one.
run up
on top of the
on
bar.
the top of the bar and slide and just like pop 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 like fucking
Kung Fu Master.
no, like John Wick or something, you know.
So before we get back to the tank thing, another crazy thing I heard last night. There are 2 things. One is maybe not be so crazy. I'll start with the one that is crazy. That since you mentioned the fight, Anthony Yard is just as skilled as Canelo Alvarez.
Wait, what? I'm sorry.
Who said
What?
that?
What?
I won't name names. That Anthony Yard is as skilled as Canelo Alvarez.
Bro, you got to say who
Wow.
said that. Who you got to tell me who said that.
All right, cool. I won't name names. So we all laughed at that one. All right, cool. The other one they said was Dimitri Bivol is more skilled than Canelo Alvarez.
Well, he did beat him. He did beat him. So he
In
did beat him.
different
So
ways.
Yeah, I mean that's not really a
Different ways.
determination of like who's the better skilled guy.
Looking at skills, I mean, Vivo was very masterful in
The science of boxing.
the science of boxing, not just in the fight with, not in that fight, but in the fight with Zordo, right? He showed a lot of masterful skills, and he's very skillful using the jab, using the foot placement.
that's gonna be a man. That's gonna be a hard man to beat, man. It really is.
Yeah, and he's very smart. That's the thing. He's a
Yes.
very, very smart man. Canelo, he has good instinct. He looks at the fight, and if he can counter here and there, he'll slip and counter right there. Pretty much similar to what kind of things that I do.
It just depends on like what skill you're talking about, because
Yeah.
they each have their own skills, right? Like
I think the main problem.
All right,
is
so
that
I'll
Bivol-
put it. I'll go to the place where I thought like this. I didn't really get the argument that Dimitri Bivol was a better defensive fighter than Canelo.
Dimitri Bivol, defensive fighter. I mean, he's not getting hit with things, right? Because he places himself really well in terms of getting out of the punch and utilizing the jab. See, you don't have to block or slip punches to be a good defensive fighter. You just don't get hit with it. It makes you a great defensive fighter.
his best assets are his footwork and that high guard he keeps up. The high guard is very, very
Yeah,
tight.
it's not being
And,
there, right? Like Donito was saying, he's not
Yeah.
like he's fighting long. He stays at a place that you can't get to. So that is a kind of defense.
Right.
Because Canelo has a trademark. He's got a trademark punch. He throws the left hook to the body, and he couldn't land that on Bivol. Bivol was using his feet like brilliantly to move out of the way of that shot. Canelo couldn't even hit him with it.
Right. Or even the overhand that he usually lands and hook afterwards in the body that he always does. He couldn't land any of those shots, And so
and whatever shots he did land, he couldn't hurt him. He
But
didn't put it
there's also the idea that Bivol like couldn't touch, like when Canelo went to the ropes, was throwing 6-punch combinations. He couldn't also hit Canelo. I mean, it's Canelo pressing the fight is I guess it's a different kind of way to go about your work, right?
Now, Donito, do you think that Canelo would beat Bivol in a rematch?
Well, I have a different question. I actually have a different question. But just one more. As a pressure fighter, if you're going to be a pressure fighter, are you already behind the 8 ball when it comes to being a defensive fighter? Because it seems like if you're going to be pressuring, then there's a level of defense that you have to have in order to be a good pressure fighter, but you're not going to be as maybe. I guess you won't be seen as the same kind of defensive fighter for guys fighting long and maintains range.
Not quite. Like, say, for instance, the likes of Marvin Hagler, right? He goes in there punching you and pressuring you, but he had great defense after each punch or each movement. He would bounce off here and he would throw here and he would throw here and he would move his head constantly while he's punching, where he won't get hit with something else. And who another person who does that really great too was Mike Tyson back in the days when he did his due diligence in moving his head and moving out of the punches. He had great defense and offense at the same time.
Right. How do you put? Would you say that the concept could be described like he has great defense for a pressure fighter?
I mean,
great defense. Period.
the thing too is that you got to look at every aspect of things, like they say, right? Um, a great defense is a great offense, right? So if you're allowing that to be taken away, his offensive style, then you're doing a great part of you in a defensive way by not allowing him to get to that level of offense. But at the same time, there's people that manipulate things, distance wise, who are great defensive fighters, but have great offense as well, but because makes them very timid and limited in punching, so all of that comes into the equation of defense. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, like when all right, so from since it's one of the four, judging criteria, right? So like when in your experience, I know it's like it depends on the athletic commission and the judges and the states and all that other stuff. But like when just generally speaking, when they're scoring defense, what kind of things are they looking for?
Every judges are different. The way they look at fights is different. Some fighters love defense. Some judges like defense, head movement, boxing abilities, or the pressure. So it depends on who you're looking at. Changes the whole situation and the whole scorecard.
New York likes boxers.
Yeah, New York, even Vegas, they like boxers too.
Yeah,
yeah. So when they're looking for it, you mentioned head movement. Are they looking for like, a guy who's like slipping punches or round point? Are they looking for a guy who's just like, fighting from the outside, maybe using the apron, hooking off the jab kind of stuff?
Well, that
does it
depends.
matter?
That depends, because if that person is doing it well enough where he is actually winning the round, then they'll give it to that person. Even though the other guy is doing head movement, but he's getting tap here and there. A lot of the things now, a lot of the judges now are it's a weird way of judging now. Back in the days, it was who was winning the fight. You know what I'm saying? It's not who was throwing more punches. It was who's winning the fight, uh um who was more clearly the better fighter. But now it's totally different. They're looking at punch stat, they're looking at lands, they're looking at all this other stuff. And so throughout the whole time, boxing judging has evolved, I guess, with time. You agree?
Oh yeah, I think every sport, like, they all evolve. Yes, the ferret is out. You saw
I
him.
just saw him.
Yeah, the ferret's out. So he might come over and mess with the wires again.
He's that motherfucker always messes with me. He's always
he
messing
does
with
not
me.
mess with you.
Yes, he does.
Is it a pet ferret? Is it a feral
Yeah.
ferret?
No,
It's
it's my son's ferret, and he just messes with me all the time.
I heard
Yeah.
they smell.
No, this one
This
does.
one, this
no,
one's
you know
okay.
why I learned what he's in my clothes.
Yeah.
You know why why they say he smells is when I was looking up the pet stuff. This is so random.
They poop a lot.
but
That's why.
no.
They poop a lot.
Okay, so does dogs. But the reason is because they have a litter box. He's stuck. The reason they have a litter box and people allow it to pile up. Like, they're like, oh, like, make sure that you do that at least every 2 days that you clean out the litter box.
Oh, that's the thing. It's not from the fur, some like sweat gland or something. It's just like people's maintenance.
Yeah, they just let even my brother-in-law, who he said that he had ferrets, and he said like they would only clean it every 2 or 3 days. They would clean out the entire litter box and then like put in a new one. Dude, I'm sorry, I bought 2 litter boxes. So once he goes, then I just switched it out, and then I'll put it in the garage, and then I'll put in the brand new one. Once that day is done, then I'll pull both of them and clean it out, rinse them down, and then put in a new one again. So I'm constantly like making sure there's not a smell in this house. But
that ferret is an asshole. That's
no,
all I'm
he's
saying.
not.
He's an asshole. That's it. That's all. He's messing with me all the time.
No,
man.
he's not even. He's in my clothes.
I'm walking, and this dude climbs on my leg all the
He
time.
wants you to pet him.
No, I don't want to pet him.
Yeah, he's trying to get to know you. He wants to he wants to snuggle. And,
No, yeah, exactly. No, he's messing with me all the time. But yeah, man, going back into it, man. You're gonna show him to people. Yeah, this dude. Look at this dude.
Hi, Ferris. You know what his name is? Ferris. I don't know why my son named him Ferris, but
Bueller.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man.
Baby, shake it.
Yeah, I could smell that dude.
Oh my God, he says you smell.
He's funky.
Oh no, he's
Funky. What?
See?
Huh?
See,
Huh?
that's why now you're about to
Uh-huh.
fall. That's why he.
Yeah, there you
Oh.
go.
Sorry, bud.
You want to attack ferret? You want to guard in the house?
They jump really weird. Like
Yeah, they jump
when he
really
plays, they jump. Anyway.
Yeah, so yeah, we'll be looking at, we're only talking about right now is the power punching, because the fight between Yard and Beterbiev is about power punches, power punchers,
Power versus power. That's why we wanted to break down like the different.
But see, the difference in that fight is probably going to be Beterbiev's footwork, because he has great footwork, he has angles, he has great punch placement, and he's violent. You're not gonna have to look for Artur Beterbiev. You're not gonna have to try to find him. He's gonna be right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
and we saw Anthony Yard gas out and get knocked out with a jab against a guy like Kovalev, who was a little bit past it when they fought. Let's be honest.
That was a business decision, right? He was just tired. He was like, I could get up and then they could take me out on the stretcher, or I could just take a breather right here because I'm gassed out.
Right. So if you're gonna gas out against that guy, who admittedly we all have to agree was past it when they fought, he's a little past it.
Yeah. I mean, after Dre
ain't past it.
Yeah,
I'm
after
sorry.
Dre got
but this guy Beterbiev is not past anything. I'm sorry.
Dre got the best.
He is 38.
Dre got the best Kovalev in that first fight. That was an amazing fight. Kovalev was a beast in that fight. And I thought Dre still got it. I actually just scored that over the weekend on Sunday. I had an 8-4 at Dre. Other people had it different ways, but whatever. I could be some bias. It may be 7-5, but I still had Dre winning that fight. Even with the knockdowns, right? Or even with the knockdown. But Kovalev in that fight was amazing. Good God. The adjustments he was making, the traps he was setting, the way he was finding Dre, the puzzle that Dre was presenting, and he would still find his openings. I was like, damn, Kovalev's a beast. But yeah, that guy's long.
YB said, hell no.
Yeah, YB trying to fight people.
Yeah, YB.
That's how we got into a fight in Philadelphia. YB was shit talking, Yeah, he was shit talking, so he got us into a fight.
He said no 8-4.
He said Remy said Kovalev was passed, but not Artur Beterbiev. That's pretty much what you said, Sheldon.
He said YB said I can see Dre winning by a point, but not no 8-4.
Oh yeah, I mean, like I said, I gave it. Listen, there's a reason why I don't talk about Andre Ward. I understand I'm from Oakland, but beyond that, the guy that taught me boxing is like a King's Gym guy, right? So it's kind of like it's the same. It's a fame fan. Whatever. I don't trip. I don't trip off that. I even said there was 4 swing rounds. I gave one of them to Kovalev. I could have given 2 to Kovalev. It still would have been 7-5, but whatever. Yeah, I'm with that, Billy. That I may have a little bit of there may be some what is it? Some favorable glasses I was looking at that fight through. But I also really like those liver shots, man. I mean, those right under the armpit to the body. I haven't seen that fight in years, so I was geeking out off that the whole
She
fight.
loves those shots. She loves
I
those shots.
freaking
Those
love
body
body
shots.
shots. Why
She
do you think I was
loves
so
those
happy?
Oh,
shots.
they were so slick. And yeah, anyway. A
It
lot
just
of
means
a lot of people
that
either don't like body shots or don't see the way that he was slipping it right under that elbow. And like to me, he was just stealing rounds with that thing. He was stealing rounds with the jab and his body work. And people were like, nope, they like the Kovalev, like flashy 1-2 over the top. But anyway, it is what it is. I'm not mad.
What's up, Upper Echelon, man? Thanks for coming out here, bro.
What's going on with y'all?
Just hanging out, man. Just hanging out
Talking
and
about
talking
power.
about power, speed, and just talking about fights, you know, because
Yeah, I was sitting there having the same conversation in y'all chat, having fun with it.
No, that's right, man.
Power, that's the last thing to go from a boxer.
Power, 100%.
That's the last thing to go. You remember Foreman versus Michael Moore?
Yeah.
Foreman was out of it. Last round, threw that Hail Mary and got him.
That's the one I was talking about earlier. See, Foreman, I thought he had more of a he was more of a he had a heavy hand, you know, back in the days, but he had more of
hardest puncher. They say he kicked like a mule.
Yes, and you know, in order for you to really have not just heavy hand, you gotta have some explosive power in it. But I thought that as Foreman got older, he was more of a heavy-handed fighter. When he knocked out Michael Moore, that was a heavy hand. That was a thud that just took him out.
Yeah, that split his lip. Split his lip
that's
too.
Just what it was a thud. See, when you're younger, you got that quick twitch muscle, that quick twitch fiber muscle where you hit them with something they don't see, but it's got that power behind it. But you know, as he got older, he got heavier. Just like, you know, Butterbean was a heavier fighter, but you know, he had that thud behind it because you got all that weight coming behind
heavy
it.
hand.
Yeah, you know, heavier fighters, they know how to use their weight, and you got all that weight coming behind it. You got like 300
if
plus
you guys
pounds
have watched that fight, if you guys watched that fight, Foreman set him up for that shot all night.
I mean, Moore had tendencies of dropping his right hand. So you know, he always had tendencies of dropping, just like Chris Eubank. Eubank, see what Liam Smith did to him. See, Liam Smith is a slugger. And see, one thing about a slugger, when you're going against a boxer, you got to cut the ring off. And people don't realize that the left and right side of the ropes are your friend. Like, if you can get a person near that corner, you can shut the whole night down because you can use the left side of the ropes and the right side of the ropes to help defend it. If he tries to go to the right, you just slide to the left. If he tries to go to the left, you can just slide to the right, and you got the ropes to protect you. And then you can just throw a right hook or a left hook to keep him in that situation. But see, if you're against that situation, you have to be a skilled fighter. Like if you see Deontay Wilder and Floyd Mayweather, they used to get people to rush them in that corner, and they had check hook. You can hit a person with a check hook that spin up out of there. But you can use their momentum when they're coming in there. But if you get caught in there, that's what happened to Roy Jones in his career. See, Roy used to be the most athletic boxer that ever laced up the thing, but then he started to slip. See, shots that he would never get caught with when he was younger, they started catching him with it, and they'd get him in that corner right there, and he can't get away quick enough, and they're lights out. And that's what happened to Eubank. Eubank, he always left that right hand out there when he threw that shot, and Liam Smith went over top of it and caught him.
Well, the difference between Eubank and Roy was Roy knew exactly where he was going until people started to time him properly. When Eubank was
started losing it. Now, Roy, he started losing this, you know, athleticism started to fade.
Yeah,
Roy, at the top of his game,
people started to find him because his athleticism, I can't say that word, but
athleticism.
People, when he started to slow down, that's when people started to catch up with him.
Yeah, because Roy was so much faster than everybody.
What I saw with Eubank was he didn't know what he was doing. He was moving his head and he was looking down on the floor. You never see Roy looking at the floor. He tried to look at you and try to get you and try to make it miss, you know, try to make you miss. But when Eubank was doing this stuff, he looked so awkward. I don't know. That's what I saw.
That's what I said about Eubank his last two fights. Like the last fight he had when he was in Britain, he beat the white guy that lost like 3 times.
Liam Williams.
Yeah. He was sitting there trying to box like Roy, and I'm like, Chris, you don't have the skills, and you cannot box like Roy. And he tries to do that hook that Roy do. I'm like, no, you need to work on your jab and everything. When you try to box like Roy, and you don't have the athleticism, see, Roy did everything wrong in boxing. but he had the athleticism, the speed, and the power to be able to do it. Like you would never train nobody to fight the way Roy Jones fight. It'd be a disaster.
But Roy Jones does, and they keep losing.
Exactly. See, Roy Jones got to realize there's only probably 2 people that can train that way, and that'll be Boots or maybe Cool Boy Steph, because they both are fast and have the athleticism to do that. But anybody else,
neither one of those dudes. They need to stick to their fundamentals, all of them.
Well, teach his own. Teach his own.
I'm not telling him to do it. I'm saying the closest thing to him now athletically would be those guys. And not even them had it, because Floyd was a freak. That nigga was a freak of nature. I'm sorry. No, never seen nothing like it. Might not see nothing like it again.
Floyd was smart.
I said Roy.
Roy.
Yeah, Floyd
Roy
is very athletically, but Zab Judah
is very athletic. Roy is just athletic, just outrageously athletic.
Yeah, he was amazing. He was a freak.
Yeah, the way he was just the thing too was people didn't understand was he was setting all that stuff up. Even though it looked like he was just kind of moving here and there. He was setting all that stuff up because he had his shoulder down. You're gonna throw that straight right there, and then go with the hook. 3 hooks.
I mean, this man was scoring Hall of Famers, B-Hop, James Toney in their primes. You know what I mean?
B-Hop with one arm. Like he broke his hand in the B-Hop fight and beat him with one hand. People forget that. Right? Yeah, people forgot that he broke his hand in the B-Hop fight. He broke his hand in the B-Hop fight and outboxed B-Hop with his left hand.
Yeah, no, Roy at his prime, there was no one like it.
But when he lost that, after he went up to Ruiz and came back down.
Yep, that's it. There was a wrap.
Yeah, he had to lose 25 pounds of muscle. Yep. And when you lose the muscle, you lose it in the wrong places. You can't dictate where you lose muscle at. Your body.
The thing about it is when you do lose those muscles that you've worked for years to build, and then you lose those muscles by cutting down weight,
you lose the wrong ones.
You got to build it back up again. And then when you go back up in weight, you don't build those in just a couple of sets, or a couple of months. It took him years to build those muscles. I mean, when Roy fought, he was just, I'm like, damn, this dude is very cut. Like, it was crazy,
Yeah, but you notice that after he went up the heavyweight, you see he was more bulky and he didn't have the quick twist muscles no more. Like he lost in speed, he gained in power, but that power wasn't his game because he always had power. But he lost his speed and elusiveness. And once he did that, he became a regular fighter.
Right.
And after that, his career was pretty much over after that. Because that's when he won that first Tarver fight just off sheer guts. Because he was fatigued and he had just cut that weight. But that second one, Tarver was ready and he timed him. And timing beats speed every day. But Roy had the speed that you couldn't catch up to.
What do you think the same thing that would happen?
But before that, I want to take this time to say hello. Thank you, Jackie Hernandez. Always a pleasure. Always great to have you here. Hey. Jackie, thank you always, man. You're the best. Every day. You've always just supported us. Thank you. And much love to you. And to everybody out here, man, this has just been an amazing conversation. Everybody's having a conversation about power, about boxing, and all that stuff.
You know something, Nonito?
Yes, sir.
I would like to see you fight Antonio Russell or Emmanuel Rodriguez. That'd be good fights for you right there.
Well, we're setting all of that stuff up, and I guess we call it be patient.
If I have to be
maybe upper echelon, did you hear that the WBO has ordered Maloney and Nonito for that
WBC?
Maloney ain't about to fight down Nonito. That nigga is not about to fight Nonito.
He gonna duck?
I can bet you.
He gonna duck? He gonna duck?
That's Maloney.
I don't want to say. I don't want to say it either. I think so too. I don't want to say it though.
Maloney's about to duck.
Smoke, you were on H's channel yesterday. What did I tell you in the chat? What did you say about Bob and the WBO?
Oh, I said, I adopted your language actually. That they're cozy. I like that. I like that.
WBO stands for whatever Bob orders.
I mean, there you go. Somebody else to say.
Wow, that's a good one.
Oh, nice.
Bob.
Whatever Bob
You never
orders,
heard that before?
You never heard that before?
Oh my
yeah, we've been calling it that.
Oh
Wow.
my God, we've been
I gotta
saying
spill
that shit
that one.
for
I
a
gotta spill
year.
that one.
We've
I
been
gotta
saying
spill
it
that
for
one.
years.
We've been saying that
Hey,
shit for a whole year. Whatever Bob
I hear
orders.
you,
That's the
man.
WO.
Listen, you've been in the ring being great, and
You
you missed
learn
out all the great
something new
lines, all the
every
great jokes
day.
about what the hell's going on. Yeah.
No. I mean, like, this is the thing, like, you know, like there's been channels that are like so anti like Al Heyman. Actually, no, I'll just say so. Rick Glazer is like so anti Al Heyman,
I
right?
can't
Whatever.
stand that dude, bro. I cannot
I know,
stand
I
that
can't.
motherfucker, dog.
And but he has such a hate, and so I went on another channel that he was on, and he was trying to run because he heard I was coming up, and he was like, "I'm gonna leave." But I literally posed the right question. I was like, "You're saying that Al's blocking the best fights." I'm like, "What are you talking about? Like, don't you think that Top Rank does the exact same thing?" And I was like, "What happened to the Ramirez and the Prograis fight?" Top Rank said no, right?
Yeah.
Like these are like it's not like one promotional company does that.
Yeah, he also poured water on the Bivol Beterbiev fight too. Oh, Bivol's boring. He needs to fight Callum next.
Right, right.
So,
But you know something? The reason why they don't want that B-Ball and Better BF fight because B-Ball fights the same way Oleana Usyk fights, and Oleana Usyk gave Better BF a boxing lesson in the amateurs a couple years
I got
ago.
Bivol beating him.
Yeah, B-Ball can control that distance, and I would have said B-Ball washes him, but the last fight where I seen him against Joe Smith Jr., Better BF showed me a different wrinkle in his game. He showed me that he's just not a straight slugger now. He's starting to think with it, and he got movement with it too, because he was setting traps for Joe Smith. I mean, he wasn't the same fighter. That Joe Smith fight, he looked at more educational. Like he started more than just power.
I'm telling y'all, man. I hear my man AJ and I hear my man Smoke, but I'm telling you, ain't nobody beating that dude until that dude retires. Ain't nobody beating that dude.
I didn't say that. Hold that percent. Which dude you talking about? Better Beef?
I'm talking about Beterbiev, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
not over there singing Bivol praises.
I say he can be beat because Sir Marcus Brown. Sir Marcus Brown.
Sir Marcus Brown pissed him off, and you saw what happened to him.
No,
yeah, pissing off that dude.
Sir
Like,
Marcus
you never
Brown,
know what's gonna set him off, and then he detonates, and like
no, Sir Marcus Brown. He stopped listening to Derek James, and he got fatigued. That's what happened. Sir Marcus Brown, when he was listening, he was doing what he had to do, but he started getting fatigued. You watch the fight.
If you watch that eighth round, hold on. If you watch that eighth round, they told Beterbiev in the corner, they said, "You got one more round, and we're gonna stop this fight because that cut is too bad." Beterbiev said, "Okay." And went out there and beat the ever living shit out of that man and knocked him out.
Okay, but did you see in the eighth round? Did you see Marcus Brown? He was in the corner with his mouth open.
Oh, he was tired from the fifth.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. He wasn't well conditioned. Derek James had already said it. But
it wasn't going to, but I'm telling you, conditioning, nothing was going to save him. Nothing was going to save him in that ninth round when that man turned it up. When Beterbiev turned it up, he came to get that dude.
If he was not fatigued, he could have still controlled the distance and got away, man. See, y'all be thinking about closing the distance. It's ways to get out of the fight. It's ways to protect yourself. But when you fatigue,
I hear you.
Do all that.
I hear you. But my problem with your statement is this: Sir Marcus Brown is not that good, and he's never been that good.
Yeah, it's just something missing from that guy. Like, listen, to me, no matter how it goes down, Marcus Brown does not have enough. Like, it's just going to go down how it goes down, right?
He plateaued.
It turns out it went down the way it went down. It turns out it went down that way. But
he don't have that last.
And when Marcus can't even take a punch. He can't even take a punch.
Is often.
He doesn't have that final gear. He doesn't have that fifth speed.
Can I get it out? Can I get it all out? Marcus Brown.
Hold on. Let me just say what's up to Vinculets. And you know, chill for a little bit. Let's dance a little bit, you know. So you know what I'm saying? Hey, Nonito, are you thinking about Magdaleno rematch? Well, I think the guy's fighting at 130 now, so I think that's not gonna happen anymore. I came down to the that I belong in, which is at the 118 division. So I don't think that's gonna happen. But hey, you know, things can happen regardless what situation. I mean, I don't think it's looking like it's very dim for that to happen. But yeah, go ahead, man. Round 2, fight.
Right. So Marcus Brown for me is often doing well before it all goes pear-shaped. That's typically the story of Marcus Brown. But go ahead.
I feel like he got that fourth gear. He just ain't got that fifth gear. Like he ain't got that finishing killer instinct. But if he get his damn stamina up. See, his stamina, he has stamina issues just like Canelo Alvarez. See, people always talk about Canelo great. He'd be a lot better if his stamina issues.
I mean, well, Marcus, when the tough gets going, he resorts to headbutts. So
yeah, that's what I said. When you become fatigued, you start doing anything. You start biting.
And in that Beterbiev fight, he headbutted the wrong dude.
Yeah, but Beterbiev he said he got mad. That pissed him off after that.
Yeah. He turned it to General Zod off Superman.
Brian Milan here really loves y'all. You know, you guys are very enthusiastic, very passionate about the boxing. So he just say, you know, he loves what y'all was talking about. So, you know,
I miss boxing, man.
Yeah, we love boxing and we love to dance apparently because we're gonna dance again.
You gotta play the song. You gotta play the
song. And it's raining.
Yes, it's raining. We're making it rain, baby. You know, Brian Milan, Nonito, set Maloney up, land it, pow, pow. You people up there are enthusiasts in boxing, liking you guys. Y'all sound like podcasts. That's right.
That's right.
I used to box
Thank
myself.
You, Appreciate you.
I used to be a boxer, so you know I love the sport. I'm mad as hell. I don't get to box no more, but hey.
Pro?
Nah, I was amateur. I was going pro. Until I destroyed.
Hey, brother, don't be ashamed, brother. Age waits for no man.
Nah, I destroyed my future. I broke my hand in over 87 places.
Damn.
Ooh, yeah, that'll do it. That'll end it.
Yeah, I was 16-0 as a fighter.
Yeah, the hand is you know, that's why for me, I don't get into any of that stuff, man, because you gotta protect the hand, man. And when the hand is gone, it's gone. Everything is gone. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, no. The thing about boxing is, for me, I quit a couple times, you know, because of how hard it is. You know, people don't understand how difficult it is to become a professional fighter and still have
a family,
food at the table. You know.
See, I was junior Golden Glove in '94 and '96.
Man, that's good, bro. I
got that street fight, and boys, some people got some hard heads, man.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I caught him with a straight right. I caught the
top of the head.
Fight. I was getting jumped by some Mexicans. I caught him with a straight right.
Top of the head.
I'm gonna tell you. I caught him with a straight right there at the bottom part of his mouth. Then I hooked him on the left side of his jaw, and then I threw a straight right again. It was a straight hook straight combo. Right?
It was a 3-piece.
Yeah, but I fired it off so fast, and as I had positioned my body on the last shot to go all the way through with it. Like I was following all the way through. Like the first one, I didn't put it was much stank on the first shot because it was like pop pop pop. You know what I'm saying? So as I twisted into that last one, he was already halfway down to the ground, and I had already shot it out there, and it was too far gone to pull it back, and it crumpled on top of his head.
Yeah, top of the head.
Yeah, because he fell forward, like his legs buckled up under him. He folded like a chair, and I had already shot it out there, and it was over with.
You know, it's so crazy. Our hands are so fragile, man.
Yeah,
so fragile, man. You know,
see, with the amount of pressure that I used to hit with, they said it looked like a bomb exploded in my hand, so
dang,
it shattered it. Now I got a titanium plate to hold the bones together, so. They told me I can't fight with that in my hand, so
why not?
Why not?
You got Iron Hand. They start calling you Operation the Iron Hand.
It depends on how many, right?
Literally, you're the man with the iron fist.
I tried to get
the tensile strength of those things aren't very strong.
The man with the iron fist. Did you know?
I even tried to get a license in Vegas. They won't let me do this. It's unfair.
Damn, that's crazy. Do you know? This is me because I grew up in the Philippines, right? No electricity, no TV, no nothing like that. So I didn't know any of the celebrities and stuff like that. You know, growing up, the rappers and hip hop artists and all that stuff. You know, and I came to the United States. You know, and then
you about to tell that story?
Yeah, I'm about to tell this story.
Go tell him.
So I went into, I met, I became world champion, blah, blah, blah. And, I'm a good friend of Dave Bautista. And he had that movie with the Guardians of the Galaxy, and we went to the premiere, and then the person that sat next to me was Reza. You know, Reza was was next to me. Reza was
Wu-Tang.
Yes, the Reza was right there. And
RZA.
I didn't know who Reza was at that time, you know, because I didn't grow up with anything, you know. So when I came and I was like, yeah, man, you know, his manager asked me, like, what do you do? I'm a world champion. That's cool, man. And I turned around, I'm like, yeah, man, what's up, man?
What did you ask him?
What's your name? Like, oh, my name's Reza. And like, oh, that's cool, man. What do you do? What do you do? How do you know Dave? And you know, and he was like, oh, well, you know, I act and all that stuff. I mean, me and him, we were in the movie. He was very nice, but little did I know. And Rach was smacking the shit out of me because I'm like, do you know who that is? I'm like, no, that's why I asked him who he was. So yeah, that was my whole story. Oh man.
Yeah, if you don't know the WBO is whatever Bob orders, you're probably not gonna know the RZA.
Yeah, see?
Yeah, we've been saying that for years now. Whatever Bob orders. Because Bob
orders, you know. So yeah, that the greatest champion. Oh geez, yeah, I know. You were there and you smacked crap.
That's why Crawford had the WBO. That's why Josh Taylor still holds on to the WBO. Like WBO ain't gonna do that without Bob's permission.
Yo, all top rank fighters, they get the WBO belt, more or less.
I mean, that's how I got WBO belt, I think.
Yeah.
You know, I got
Crawford's holding on to that WBO belt because can't nobody beat him.
That's true.
Well,
That's
y'all
true.
know Oscar De La Hoya just tweeted out Crawford versus Ortiz in Dallas. What y'all think? So they
I like it. I like it.
Why
not?
Which Ortiz?
I like it.
But see, I would love to see Victor Ortiz versus Terrence Crawford.
Virgil.
I think Virgil Ortiz.
If it's Victor, I'm like, dude, this way he's gone, he's done. You know,
I think Virgil Ortiz.
Hold up a second. I just want to make sure that I'm hearing you say what I think you're saying. Are you saying that you heard that Virgil Ortiz was fighting Dallas?
No. It's not an announcement. Oscar asked on Twitter, like, what y'all think?
Everybody said the same thing.
Hold on, let me tell y'all what he said. He's talking about pulling out the Stanionis fight. And they thinking about letting Virgil Ortiz activate his mandatory with Terrence Crawford.
Oh, that would be great.
They talking about doing it in Dallas at the Cowboys.
That would be great.
Right. So yes. So the answer to my thing is yes. So he's willing to fight Virgil Ortiz at the Cowboys.
He has no choice. He has no choice. They can
No. Of course, you have the choice. It's a mandatory status. You don't have. You can do whatever. He does not have to fight him in
not at Dallas.
Like he can go to purse bid and they can fight wherever the hell they want to fight. But I'm just saying,
he hasn't. Hold on.
If you just get the question out, if I just get the question.
1 second. Let me just say this one thing. Yes. You know he ain't got no backing behind him, so you know Golden Boy wins the purse bid.
He's got two hedge funds, but that's not my question. The question is whether or not he's willing to fight Errol at Dallas Cowboys Stadium, but not willing to fight Errol, but is willing to fight Virgil in the same venue.
But if they go to a purse bid and Golden Boy wins the purse bid, then he has no choice but to fight there or vacate.
Right. That's not what right. So that's really the issue that I'm having is like, oh, you're saying that they're going to make him fight at there because of purse bid.
Yeah, if they get the purse bid, he has no choice. You know, if they go to purse bid,
he has a choice.
It sounds like all this sounds like that's a bunch of ifs. That sounds
he doesn't have a choice, but he's gonna have to he'll vacate his
belt.
He
has a choice, but his options aren't too good. His options aren't too good. But he has a choice.
He has to vacate.
He can just vacate.
Yeah,
he can just vacate.
And I would love to see Spence versus Ortiz for undisputed because Spence and Ortiz in Dallas, it won't be. It won't be that stadium.
You know what's crazy to me, man?
I think
Virgil Ortiz is not beating no damn Terrence Crawford. So
no,
listen about that.
I think Virgil Ortiz.
I'm just saying
that's cool. Virgil Ortiz will get his
ass.
I don't
know why they make it so difficult.
Guys, Nonito's trying to talk. Nonito's trying to talk.
I'm just saying. Why did it make it so difficult to fight each other, man? You know what I'm saying? Like for me,
exactly.
What happened to
Ugas? Yeah.
He seen what happened to Ugas. When you see something like that happen, it makes you think about your boxing career. Like some people just don't be ready to walk into that type of.
Wait. You saw what happened to Ugas? What?
Yeah. Now Bub's heart pumps Kool-Aid, right? Like, Ugas like, nah, bro, nah, I can't go in that. Like, come on, guys, come on.
Bud seen what happened to Ugas.
Yeah, we're not gonna go with that.
He wanted to keep his formula bone.
Anyway,
right.
listen. I understand why
we're
you
not
would
gonna
have
go with that
that
one. I
impression.
mean,
That impression. If you
Okay,
think
bro.
Virgil Ortiz has
He
a
said he
shot
been
at
calling
being
out for the fight for all these years, and then he walks away from the table, and he don't even get 10 million. He gets 1.5 guaranteed and gets 3 on the back end. The man sat there and ran from the fight. They have been discussing that fight the whole time, bro. Come on, we not about to do this, bro.
Oh yeah, let's take
It's
this
all
Virgil Ortiz
documented.
news. Let's do
Hey,
this Virgil Ortiz news before we go down the rabbit hole.
wait,
Before we get down,
hold up, fellas, hold
can
up,
we
fellas.
stick with
Yeah,
Virgil
hold up,
Ortiz?
fellas, hold up.
What up, Sheldon? Go ahead, Sheldon.
Hold up, fellas. Hold up, fellas. Hold up, fellas. Hold up, fellas. Now, that's that man's opinion, so I'm not gonna shit on it. That's his opinion. I don't agree with it. I don't think Bud is afraid of anyone, especially Errol Spence or Virgil, any of those dudes.
So why he ain't signed the fight?
I just think that he didn't have a fight because they didn't offer him the amount of money that he requested.
Bro,
They didn't
As
give him a
Tim
guarantee.
Smith,
Okay,
hold
can we actually talk about Virgil Ortiz?
Let me finish. Let me finish.
Go ahead, Sheldon.
As Tim Smith told you in January, we don't have the money that he wants. Tim Smith, the vice president of PBC, told you that.
No,
He told
bro.
you
So
that.
you going to do a paragraph. Rachel will get on here and tell you, bro. They offered that man 3 contracts, bro. He even offered him 45%. Steven Espinosa said it was almost 50% split. That man said he want to be a boss. Bosses don't get no guarantee. When you a boss, you don't get a guarantee. I used to be a boss. A boss, you pay people. You don't get paid.
Bosses
He talking
don't
about a
get
guarantee. That
guaranteed.
means you're a worker. You're a worker when you get paid a guarantee. A boss takes all the risk. And when they take all the risk, then they pay people.
Well, why would he have to take? Wait. Now here you go with the narrative.
Okay,
So
Earl's taking
here's
the
the
risk
narrative.
too. You
Hold
say
on, wait.
you a
Let me
boss.
finish. Let me ask the question. How would he have to take all the risk when he's not the A side? The other dude is supposed to be the A side, correct?
Okay, but he said he a boss, right? Earl sitting there
No.
saying,
No. The other guy said he's the A side. Right or wrong? Hold on.
Stupid.
Right or wrong? The other guy said he's the A side, correct?
That's just like a dude fucking your girl, and he's sitting there telling you, "All right, come on, man. Y'all don't be thinking, bro. Like I'm not even about to have this type of conversation
Can we
with
talk?
y'all,
Before we start playing the blame game, like
y'all delusional, dog.
bro, we didn't get the fight. I don't know why assigning blame
Because
is so
your dude
important.
ducked because he fucking scared.
But right now we got
Exactly.
news. We have news of
The
Virgil.
PBC never wanted the fight.
Even
They
though
never wanted it.
Okay.
Man, Earl offered that man 45 fucking %, dog. He don't even sell
we don't
shit.
like
He don't sell shit.
guys. We didn't get the fight.
We smoke
We don't know what fight we can actually get.
Let's move on.
All we do
Get
know,
Rachel. Get
all
Rachel.
we do know, you can get Rachel or whoever. All we do know is that the fight didn't happen. That's what we do know.
Okay, look, I'm gonna tell you one thing. Look, they asked Terrence Crawford after the David Avenesian fight what he wanted to do. Terrence Crawford said it's up in the air. He did not say Spence's name the whole time. Then Spence get in an accident, and then they say he got a Keith Thurman fight. Now Bud talking about come back around. He trying to do the same fucking shit he been doing. He's been doing this shit for 5 years, dog. We see the play.
Right. So
after his fight, he didn't say shit about Spence. This man done told us 6 times that he don't want the Spence fight. Throughout the years, he said, I'm past the Spence fight. I don't want the Spence fight. I don't need the Spence fight.
So you're ignoring all the times Earl never mentioned Bud after his fights too?
Bro, Earl told him from the get-go, he said, I'm gonna get these 3 belts and then I'm gonna show y'all who holding up the division. And we see who holding it up. Now I'd rather Virgil Ortiz get a hold of Crawford because he gonna beat the shit out that nigga, dog.
There we go. That's where I want to pick up. That's where I want to pick the conversation up.
Sorry. No,
you got a better argument with that one. Stick with that one. You got a better argument with that one.
I don't think either one. I'm gonna do my conversation point.
When
That does
Crawford
not
beat
hold water.
Gamboa,
That does not hold water in the least. The McKinson, like the Virgil Ortiz, that like there's no version of Virgil Ortiz that I've seen that leads me to think that he's going to beat Bud. There's no version of Bud that I've seen. There's no version.
Mean Machine did better against Terrence than he did against Virgil.
Yeah, but and Mean Machine was it? I mean,
exactly,
okay. Is this a?
Exactly. Yeah, Mean Machine.
Okay, so we understand one another. So we understand where we're going with this. Again, I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about a triangle theory and a common opponent. I'm talking about what I've seen out of the two guys. Whatever the hell Virgil did with the Green Machine, that ain't happening with Bud. And whatever Bud did to Green Machine, that's not happening with Virgil.
Well, we need to get that fight then, because that'll be the only 50-50 fight Bud to take, because he ain't taking no.
You think that is a 50-50 fight? Virgil Ortiz.
I think Virgil Ortiz is too big for Bud. He'll walk through him.
And here's the problem.
Maurice Hooker was putting that work on fucking Virgil Ortiz. Maurice Hooker.
But Virgil has look. I'm gonna tell you like this. I seen a one-legged man beat Crawford for 12 rounds. He went 12 rounds with Crawford, and he was giving Crawford hell, and he had one leg. The man didn't have no lateral movement. Jose Benavidez Jose
Until
Benavidez
what?
was giving Crawford the business.
All I was about to say about
Until
Benavidez
what?
with the
didn't see.
distance with
Listen,
Danny
I
Garcia.
understand that.
That's what Jose
I think
Benavidez.
that.
Ugas beat Crawford
Until
twice.
what?
Crawford didn't want to get the rematch with that. He didn't want to
We're
fight
making.
Bud.
Until
He didn't
what?
try to fight
You brought
Ugas
up.
or Ray Robert.
Wait. You talking a lot. You brought up
Hold on, hold on.
Benavidez. You brought up Benavidez.
He would have beat
What
the
happened to
dog crap out
Benavidez?
of Virgil Ortiz.
Throw some
That
fire
versus
in there, so.
Jose Benavidez.
Man, he
No,
had
no,
one
wait.
fucking leg. No, the fuck he
Hey,
went.
What
hey,
happened to
It would have
What
gone the
happened to
same way.
Benavidez though?
How did
Because Virgil
What
everybody?
Ortiz
happened
cut
to
to him.
Benavidez?
Bro,
Y'all
y'all,
wouldn't
but
need two
y'all
legs.
silly as hell.
Virgil Ortiz
Make
is
it
a
What
rain.
great fighter.
happened
He
to
don't need two
Benavidez?
legs.
Why don't you just answer the question? What happened to Benavidez?
Hold on. Let me do this
I
one.
say he was a one-legged man in the ass kicking
What
contest.
happened
He
to him
even
though?
lasted 5
What
rounds.
happened to him? What happened to him?
It took 12
let me
rounds,
make this
dude.
up.
What
Go ahead,
happened to him?
Nito. Sorry, go ahead.
Dude, are you not listening? It shouldn't even took 5 rounds. He had one leg.
Hey, hold on, brother. Hold on. Let me just do this one, then y'all can go because there's another fire
Yeah.
into it. 718. Thank you for the chat, brother. Super chat. Well, Bud did what bosses do and secured $50 million for the fight, but PBC rejected the offer.
Thank you.
So go ahead. That's another file.
Man, Bud didn't even get 5 million for that shit. Bud
The
do
song
It's
didn't play,
raining.
no Nito.
They
The
duck.
song didn't play though.
They duck.
The song didn't play.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
we
song
hear
It's
the
The song
song.
didn't
raining,
play
but
though,
there's no
you know?
song.
Yes, everybody.
Make
There
it
we
rain.
go.
Hey, appreciate you, man. Thank you.
There we
I
go.
just
No,
want to see the best fight the
All right, now
best.
y'all
I
can
don't
go
care.
back into it. Round 4, fight.
I'm gonna tell you like
Well,
this.
this is all I got. This
I'm a
is all
fan
I
of
got to say
boxing.
to you, young brother. This is all I got to say to you.
Young
Go on,
brother,
put
you ain't know
Virgil
how old
ass
I
in
am,
there.
brother.
Go on, put Virgil ass in there. That's what you
I
do.
put Virgil in
Put
there. I
his
think
ass
Virgil
in
walked
there.
through it. I think Virgil walked through it. We
Virgil
won't
gets
know.
stopped.
Okay.
Okay,
Virgil
Virgil ain't
uses
Okay.
walking
his
So
through
look.
face
nothing.
for
Okay,
defense. He's
Okay.
gonna
So
get
Crawford
stopped.
should
I'm
have
just
no
saying,
reason to step in that fight then, right?
Virgil kind of walked through Sammy Vargas, and he didn't walk through Maurice Hooker. And I think, but like, if Maurice Hooker could do that to your face, like, what in the
But
hell
you
is
know,
Bud about to do this thing? Like,
hey, bro, as
I
a
don't get
boxer,
it.
I'm gonna explain something to you as being
Put
a
some
former
I'm
boxer,
gonna
right?
put
Now
some,
listen.
some fire into
Now
it.
let
Just
me
explain it. You
explain
don't have to
something
give
to
me a
you as being a
resume and all
former
that stuff.
boxer.
Just like make
I'm
sense.
gonna put some gas
I'm gonna
into
tell you.
this.
Let me
Who do you
explain something
think
as
hit
being a former
harder?
boxer, right?
Spence.
Me as my first fight, bro. Me, like I said, I had 16 fights and I had 2 junior golden gloves, right? But me as my first fight wasn't me after my 10th fight, wasn't me after my 12th fight, wasn't me after my 14th. Each fight I progressed because the way my manager moved me, he moved me like he seen what deficiencies that I had in my game. So I was because
Yeah.
I used to get
No, I got you. Do your developmental fights. I
yeah, that's what
understand
I'm saying.
developmental fights. It's all good.
I'm both hand dominant because I'm ambidextrous. I can write with both hands and everything. So, I can go any way. So he seen that I had problems with conventional fighters. Traditional fighters, I was good against southpaw, but traditional, they would come over top of me at times. So he scheduled me 3 fights with some really good traditional fighters. You know what I'm saying? So I got better at that style. See, to get better, you have to fight tough competition. And he didn't give me no Rudy Poos. He gave me top people at that time. That's just like
Yeah,
Crawford.
no, I
No, let
got
me
you.
say, let me say what I'm saying. Like Crawford, he's a great fighter. I take nothing from him. When he beat Gamboa, I started rocking with him. But to be great, you have to fight somebody on your level. If you play chess and you playing against people that you just walk through, you're not going to progress. You're not going to get better. You're going to be stagnant at that level. But when you fight somebody better, that progresses your game. It pushes you to a ceiling that you can break through and become better. Like if you don't get pushed to your limit, you're not going to see how great you really truly are. And
I
Crawford has
understand.
never been pushed that way. He's never
I
fought nobody
understand
that
that,
way.
but bro, Virgil Ortiz does not represent that kind of test. What I'm saying, like what you were talking about when it came to the developmental fights, that's where Virgil Ortiz is. It's tantamount to saying, yeah, you just got your high school diploma, now go to law school, and
Okay, but Virgil gets
you
better
barely
every fight,
graduated
though.
high school. Like Virgil Ortiz, like in the McKinson fight, we just saw the guy. McKinson is nobody. This is not like, oh yeah, let me just
He
work
was
on
a
some
slick
skills.
fighter. He was a
Let me
slick fighter with no
okay,
power.
hold up a second. McKinson is barely world class. Barely.
So he was slick with no power. He was like a Paulie
I got you.
Malignaggi.
I got he's slick with no power, but he's also slick on the pocket where like Virgil could like shine. It wasn't even like an Emmanuel to go that's gonna just use the outward the whole
I
apron
mean,
to just
wasn't he
get away from it.
22-0? He
Hold
was
up a
22-0,
second. You gave
right?
me all your southpaw stuff, and as a boxer, hold up. When it comes to Virgil Ortiz, this dude has done absolutely nothing to give anybody the impression that he's about to beat Bud. Outside of, I think you can say that Bud is small and moved up, and maybe Virgil can to come through. But like what I've been seeing out of Virgil's performances in competition, that if you want to downgrade Bud's competition, then there's no way that you can even make this argument because Virgil Ortiz's best opponent is one of Bud's worst opponents.
But this is what I'm saying. But I mean, Virgil Ortiz is still on his learning curve. Like when Earl fought Kell Brook, you see that took
it's been rainy still, man. Let me read this one too, bro. This is another for you guys. More fire.
Hold on, let him read that super chat.
Another super chat.
Let him read that super chat.
Dancing.
Yeah, this is dance, and we can all argue about it.
Make it rain.
Make it rain.
Okay, so that's gonna add fuel to a fire. Errol held up the fight by choosing to fight Bud last while praying Bud would lose the title. Errol ducked that payday for 5 years, hoping to get the 3 belts. He almost didn't get past Porter.
Dude, are you serious? What Earl did, Earl made the fight more relevant. Like, would you rather see Earl versus Bud and then Earl versus Ugas for undisputed? Or would you rather see Bud and Earl for undisputed? What Earl did was making a big payday for both of them.
I'd rather have seen it anytime. I don't really care. But look, I'm
just saying that fight is much bigger because if you got undisputed, you got 2 undefeated fighters, the number 1 and number 2 pound for pound, and they going for each other. If they fight for the 3rd belt, then that should be a letdown for the undisputed fight. Come on now, you want to see the king of the division, then they move up.
I just want to defend my boy Virgil because I think that people are acting like he can't fight or something, or he won't. All it takes is one punch in boxing. So people ask about what chance he got. When a dude is a puncher like he is and got a hell of a jab like he does and is improving like he is and young and hungry like he is, he has an opportunity in there with the best of them. It don't matter who you're talking about. So to act like he gonna get washed.
All that being said,
no, let me finish, bro. Hold on.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hold on, bro.
I didn't know you were done.
I ain't cut you off. I've been hearing you talk.
I didn't know you were done. That's all. I thought you were done.
Okay, let me finish, bro. I'll tell you when I'm done.
Okay, cool.
But like I was saying, Virgil Ortiz, bro, is not somebody that you can and the Stanionis fight will show you a lot more. To be comparing opponents and McKinson, you don't know because styles make fights. We don't know how they're gonna be until they're in front of each other, bro. So all this theoretical and hypothetical what soliloquies and what could happen if they ain't literally standing in front of each other, we don't know how the shit gonna be because we don't know how Bud is gonna take Virgil's punches and we don't know how Virgil gonna take Bud punches. That's what it comes down to in boxing as well. So all this bullshit that Virgil can't do nothing with Bud is bullshit. And I favor Bud to win that fight, but that don't mean that Virgil Ortiz can't pull off the upset. Come on, man.
Yeah, right. So upset. That's what we're talking about. Upset, because I think it would be an upset, but he doesn't. Right? That's the conversation. The conversation is he doesn't think it's an upset. He thinks Virgil beats him.
Okay, hold on. Let me get this one. Let me get this one. Let me make it rain one more time.
No, there's 2 more.
Oh, 2 more. Swift 718. Nonito always chased that smoke. I never heard Nonito talk about other sides of the street. Nonito is an example of how fighters are supposed to move and think. That's pretty much me, man. But yeah, that's.
But let's get the super chats out of the way so they can keep going at each other's throats. This is fun. Remy, $2 super chat.
Hey!
Resumes matter. Virgil KO's Boots and Crawford.
Now you tripping, bro. He ain't gonna KO Boots.
Okay, we got one more.
Fighting words. Here we go.
Hey, PBC fighters have popularized making excuses to not fight the best opponent. It became acceptable to fanboys. Errol has a million excuses. Canelo and Charlo popularized the payday, and I want you to stay broke.
Hey, Swift, that shows that you don't know shit about boxing. Canelo ain't never been PBC. He's the Zone and Golden Boy, idiot. What the hell? And Earl don't have excuses. Earl just say line him up, and he knocks it down.
Oh, we gotta do that. We gotta do it again one more time. Yeah. Yeah.
$50 super.
Hey!
Swift wants his words out there. He said, when there's a demand for a product, you have to capitalize by supplying that demand. Waiting 6 years to make a fight is disastrous because I and many others don't even care about Bud versus EJ anymore. Everybody wants them to both leave to free up welterweight.
Okay. Hey, Rachel, you know a lot about the business side of PBC and stuff, right?
Anyway, sorry to interrupt. I'm about to jump off. I'm
Let me
about
ask
to
you
jump.
Rachel
I'm
something
just
real
saying. Can I say goodbye? Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you, brother. It's my samurai brother, man. I appreciate you coming out here, bro.
quick.
I
That's
Thank you,
appreciate
no
you.
need
Samurai
Rachel.
right there. That used to be my show
See you
right there.
tomorrow.
All
I
right, champ. Have a good one.
appreciate you guys. All right, y'all take care. All right.
You
All
too.
right.
Bye.
Later.
Hey, Rachel, you know a
Okay,
lot about the
right.
PBC, right?
Uh-huh.
All right. Now you hear what he just said. The PBC fighters making excuses. What is your opinion on that? And you was privy to some of the Crawford dealing. Was Earl not waiting on Crawford the whole time? Did he not leave after doing a backdoor deal and left Earl and the PBC with nothing to do?
Yeah, I mean, like that's literally like God, I feel like we've been talking about this for
Exactly.
like
These Crawford fans can't understand real ideas.
well,
Explain that, Rachel.
just the fact that like if you watched all the Twitter action that was going on and stuff like that, even at that where they were saying, oh well, Crawford is just asking for this one more thing, and like Spence is yawning. Like it wasn't that Spence was the one that was like, I need this, I need that, I need to walk out second, I need Spence to wear the color pink or whatever BS, right? I'm not saying that was a thing, but they do argue about who the hell is supposed to walk out second. Trust me, they do. It's the
The
funniest.
champ's supposed to come out second. That's supposed to be
They're
the
both
Oh,
champs,
champ
though. They're
thing,
both
It's a
champs.
right?
negotiated thing. That's
Yeah,
what
you
you're
can
saying.
negotiate it. You can totally
Usually the A
negotiate.
side comes out last though. Usually the A side.
It's a negotiated thing. Can we get through this thing?
So I mean, as far as
Well,
like with this situation,
yeah.
in itself, Spence was waiting for Bud's side. That's why they're like, dude, we sent it back in what was it? Mid September. No, at the end of it when they kept going back and forth and they agreed to all the material terms and he just needs to sign it. And then like it, kept dragging on. And then there was a silence period about 3 weeks. And Smoke and I were on live with H. I don't know if YB was there, but we were all like H just came out and he was like, hey, he was like, dude, Bud just announced a fight. And like if we were as side what is it, side swiped or side blinded by blindsided by the news as so was Steven Espinoza who was trying to get this fight done and Spence and the whole PBC, because if you're waiting to hold your breath, which is exactly kind of pretty much what we're doing right now, like listen Maloney, like okay, I know it's only for us it's only been 2 days. Do I want to sit here until February 17th to find out he's not even going to fight us and it's going to go to WBO route? No, because then you're wasting like a whole month for us. But they do when you do these things, it leaves a bad taste. I've always said it's bad form, because I think that you should just have some ethics and morals when you are when you're negotiating with one party and tell the other side if you are negotiating with someone else. Go ahead. Ready? Hold on.
Hey. Go ahead. You read better than I do.
Swift718 said, I know Canelo ain't PBC. He's matchroom, but it's a trend that these fighters have started. I know a lot about boxing. I've been boxing since I was 3 years old. I'm from Brooklyn. I boxed with Zab, Judah, Dimitri, Salita, Spard William, Choppy. I know.
Well, then why wouldn't you say that like Sugar Ray Leonard started it then? Like, why would you start all the way at Canelo Alvarez? Like,
exactly. Or why would you throw Tim Bradley in there from Top Rank? Tim Bradley, he started that side of the Spence thing when Spence was his mandatory.
Our A side stuff was Oscar De La Hoya. Like,
yeah, Oscar
Sugar
over
Ray
top
Robinson. Like, for real. Like, anyway, this whole PBC Terrence Crawford like failed negotiation. Like, people are like reaching. I feel like a lot just to like vilify. You got to have a demon and you got to have a god. I guess like the hero villain stuff. I don't get it.
I just say just come together. I just say come together and make the fight for fans. We've been getting fights that we don't want, and y'all just force feeding us shit we don't want. Just go ahead and make the fights. If you're not gonna make the best fight in the best, then what are you in here for?
Hold on. So hold on, Smoke. You saying that there's not a villain in this circumstance? What are you?
No, it is a villain.
No, I don't no, I don't think there's a villain in this circumstance. I absolutely don't, because I think that Crawford doesn't want to be a B-side. I think that he was very shocked that they didn't take a $25 million thing. I think that's what he wanted to do. I think that he could have handled himself better. Sure. I think he could have acquitted himself a whole lot better. But do I think he needs to be vilified for it? No.
Well, he should
Okay,
have let
so
them know back in September instead of holding
Yeah,
up the
that's
whole
what I said. They
division.
could have made different things, but like but just so we understand one another, the PBC seems to be about PBC business, and this is going to be a PBC fight. And it seems as though they're like, but like nobody is questioning whether or not the deal breaker was control of the fight.
Okay, what did
Like they're
Terrence
not
bring to
about
the
to give up
table?
control of the fight. So if PBC wants to keep control of the fight, they can, but that means we might not get the fight because they don't want to give up control.
Okay, what
But
Am I
did
supposed to
Terrence bring to
vilify?
the
but
table?
Am I
hold on,
supposed
it
to
ain't even.
vilify either side for that?
let
I'm
me
not
let me
going
give
to.
my explanation on this one too. But let me just do
Hold
this.
Okay,
on,
what did
bro. That
Crawford
don't make
bring to
no
the
sense
table?
though. Hold on. So give up control to a guy that don't have a promoter. Like
And
how
no
you gonna hold on,
sales
hold on, hold
either.
on. It just don't make sense to. What would you do? How would you see control to a guy that ain't got no backing behind him?
And ain't sold more than
No,
150,000 pay per view.
Listen, I
That's not,
understand
let me
that.
finish though. No. Fuck he ain't sold this and that. He don't have backing behind him. How you gonna see control to a guy that's a free agent?
I
That
understand that. And this is why
So
I'm not
what are you
vilifying them for
talking
not
about, bro?
ceding
Like
control.
it's not even. Hold on.
Okay, you're
What
not
you're
here. You're
saying
not
is
hearing me. You're
nonsensical,
not
my
hearing me.
dude.
Actually, it's nonsense to you, but because for whatever reason you were listening with angry ears. So here's
No,
check it
I'm
out.
not listening with
So
angry ears. What
bro,
you're
you
saying is
asked me not to interrupt
nonsensical.
you, but now here you go like
Hold
chirping
on,
on.
hold on,
I'll tell
bro.
you when I'm done. I'll tell you
Okay,
when I'm
well, hurry
done.
up
How
then.
about I tell
Get
you when
to
I'm
it.
done?
All right,
So
well,
here we
hurry up and
go.
get
So,
to it.
listen. Here,
All
this
right,
is
get
what I'm
to it.
telling you. This is what I'm
What?
telling you. If a guy said, if I'm Bud Crawford, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, and I'm feeling myself, and I'm going like, you know what? I got this. I'm going to set up shop, and I'm going to make everybody capitulate to me because this is my first time out, and I don't want to be a B-side. I want this to be 50-50. Here's what I got going on. For my limited understanding, this should be enough. Now, I can understand somebody more sophisticated going, this is amateur hour. There's no way I'm seeing control to this. But that doesn't make me vilify Bud.
Bro, you don't have to vilify him. What do you, bro? That
That's
shit,
my whole
bro.
point
That's
is
some
that I'm not
emotional ass
playing.
shit.
You asked me why I'm not playing heroes and villains, and you said, what, you can't be a villain in this situation? From my perspective, no.
Okay, you don't have to vilify somebody, but at the same time, right is right, wrong is wrong in situations, bro. So
Well, the thing too. Let me just read this up because he was talking about William Joppy ain't from Brooklyn, but he came around. You know, when he was talking about his previous ones. So I want to say thank you, Swift 718. But to go in the argument with y'all, you know, it's just that this is what people are saying back and forth and all of that stuff, right? It's there's a picture of what people are painting or what these people are painting on their side and his side, but we don't really know what exactly happened behind the scene, you know. And a lot of it probably is like everybody's saying now he want to be in the A side, he want to make the decision, he want to, you know, all that stuff. And it became to a point where they went into a cycle where, you know what, I'm a bigger draw than you are, and it became their pride. It became all of that, and we all got caught in it. You know what I mean? And we all got caught in it, and
But
we
you
still
know,
got
it's
caught
men lie, women lie, but numbers don't.
yeah,
And one of Earl Spencer's fights, the fight with Danny or Mikey Garcia, did more than all Crawford's pay-per-views put together.
well,
Now, we already got a proven method. You see when Canelo came over there and fought Plant, they did 800,000. You see the fight, PBC, Showtime, they know what they're doing. You see, you haven't cracked over 150,000 buys. Why you think that they're gonna put the fight, the biggest fight in the last 30 years, in your hands? Like the man said, y'all didn't have no backing. You a free agent, and you got, and you're not even listening to your own damn lawyers. You can't even trust your lawyers. You sitting here trying to be a boss, but you want a guarantee. When you a boss, you don't get a guarantee. Y'all get everything, and y'all pay people out the pot. And Steven Espinosa and them said it was close to 50%. The man was getting damn near 45%. So if the fight would have did 120 million, that means Earl would have got like motherfucking 65, and Bud would have got like 55. And then they would have paid off what they had to pay out. That's
now,
more than just selling the fight for damn $50 million. You sell a fight for $50 million to a hedge fund, you're losing out on a whole bunch of money. That's why Al said, I'm not gonna let you sell this fight. You capping yourself. You putting a ceiling on yourself. On a biggest fight, you gonna put a ceiling on yourself for 50 million. Come on, man.
absolutely. And
Smart.
this the thing. I agree with Smoke. Look, I understand where Smoke is coming from. You know, Bud Crawford, like when you a fighter and you've been undisputed 3-time champion, all that. Look, you may have a different opinion of your self-worth. Like, okay, this is what I'm worth, and can't nobody tell me what I'm worth. And I want to get the most guarantee I can get for this fight and get the most money I possibly can. I don't want to be a B-side. I've done more. See, to Bud Crawford, he's done more than Spence. He's to Bud Crawford, in Bud Crawford's mind, that equates more so than pay-per-views sold and all this. And Bud Crawford, that's legitimately what Bud Crawford says, and that's legitimately how he carries himself, which I understand. So I understand where smoke is coming from. So that's why I kind of took a break from it, because arguing about what happened in negotiations, but don't get nowhere because we still ain't got the fucking fight, which is sad for boxing fans alike.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, especially if it's overshadowing this possible showdown between Virgil and Bud, which
exactly. That's why I want to
is
see
really good. Like, I feel like one of the big letdowns out of the whole conventions last year was the Bud Virgil fight. The Bud Virgil fight didn't materialize. Like, Stanionis is a good fight, it's a good test and all that stuff, but I was much more looking forward to Virgil versus Bud than Virgil versus Stanionis. I thought they'd go the Thurman route personally, but whatever.
They were down there at the
bad.
WBC. They were down there at the WBC, and they didn't go that day to the
right
mandatory.
day, exactly. They said the Bud fight, and then they disappeared. On us. So I thought that they were like picking and choosing. This whole narrative about Golden Boy protecting his assets, that goes out the window if they make Virgil versus Bud.
Well, they probably think that Virgil can beat Bud. That's what they're thinking.
Hey, all I'm saying is that's a risky fight, regardless if they think it or not. It's still they're risky. That is not a gimmick. He's gonna go there as an underdog, and deservedly so.
When you're an elite fighter, bro, and you fighting elite fighters, ain't none of that shit gimmicks. So and that's what make boxing great, though. We shouldn't be watching the elite fighters always fighting gimmicks. You get what I'm saying? And every fight is a gimme where we know who's going to win, and that's what makes boxing more interesting. And that's why we wanted to see this fight, and that's why we want to see the top fighters fight the top fighters. And so that's the most important thing about it. And this is a fight that's been brewing and building for so long, and that's why the frustration comes. It's not just that Crawford is being vilified, because it's not fair, and Errol Spence is being vilified as well on the other side. So you get what I'm saying? Both of them. Yeah. When something happens and people have high expectations for something, and it doesn't go right, there's always gonna be some vilifying going on. There's always gonna be a blame game, and it's always gonna be whose fault is it. And that's just what happens, bro. When fans are fed up and frustrated, you're gonna get protests, and people are protesting and showing their frustrations and their disgust by assigning blame to who they think it is. And that's just what always happens when something that we expect to happen doesn't happen.
Yeah, and I can appreciate that. My issue is, like, as a fight fan, this kind of sentiment is overshadowing good fight. Like, I'm hearing PBC is blocking all the good fights. Well, I remember a bunch of good fights from PBC and some mediocre fights, but you can't even appreciate like a mediocre fight because of all the vitriol about that, like one particular fight that didn't get made. Like right now, I think like Keith Thurman and Errol Spence, I was never crazy about the fight, but I actually think it's pretty. I like it better at 154. But people are like, because it's not Bud, let's crap all over the fight. Like instead of talking about it like in its own thing, it has to be attached to this other thing. And the same thing is going now with Virgil and Bud. Like at a certain point as a fight fan, you go, okay, cool. This is what, like, why is it that we have to make the perfect the enemy of the good? And why do we have to go to war over it? Like,
but you know what? People have short memories, because I do remember about 2-3 years ago, we was clamoring for the Spence versus Thurman. Like that was the fight that we wanted, and I still want it. I want to see Spence versus Thurman. I want to see the elite fight the elite. I want to see Virgil versus Bud, Spence versus Thurman, and the winner of that go for undisputed. I mean, hell, if Virgil beats Bud, him and Spence for undisputed in Dallas Cowboys Stadium, that's 120,000 fans there. It ain't gonna be not a seat unsold in there.
But see, this is the only thing about Virgil and Bud. That fight is so unrealistic right now because Virgil's fighting Stanionis, I believe in April. It was supposed to be March, but because the appendicitis, and the surgery for Stanionis is pushed back to April.
I think they're pulling out of that, though. I think that's what Oscar's talking about doing.
Oh, he's talking about pulling out? Well, until he does, it don't matter. And because of that, Virgil's not a WBO mandatory at this point because he's in the WBA rankings fighting for the WBA regular title and WBA world title. So for that situation, when you become a world champion, you're not a mandatory no more in those situations. So you can't even force the Bud fight. So
but he's not a world champion yet, though.
Exactly. But if he fights Stanionis, he will be putting himself out of that position.
That's why I'm saying if he pulls out. That's why if he pulls out now, before he gets the thing like Boots did, if he pulls out now, and they mandate that thing, then they can go that route.
But they might.
I don't even think they have to mandate it. I think if Virgil pulls out and says he wants to fight Bud instead, then Bud will be like, okay, cool.
That's
They have
why
to
I'm
mandate
not
him
trying to, I
to
don't
do what
think
they
Bud's
do.
trying to not fight Virgil, and I don't know if he has an opponent, right?
But
Made
that's
right.
why Oscar's trying to see what the damn. That's why Oscar's gauging it right now, because
Right.
Oscar's not trying to make Virgil wait any longer, because he know Virgil having problems staying at 147. You know that man almost died trying to make it down to the McKinnon fight.
Oh
So
no,
you
he
know,
now from what I'm hearing, no up, he making it pretty well, bro. I got people over there. He making it good.
oh,
He all right.
okay, but you know he had a mishap at one
No,
time.
I know he got rhabdo. Yeah, I know. That's why people looking at that McKinson performance, they you can't judge that performance because he's out the ring for over a year and he was out the hospital with rhabdo. Some people don't even come back from that situation. So
yeah,
people were like,
that's
"Oh,
when the
look at
damn
what
muscles
happened with
start
McKinson."
get eat up.
That's not
Well,
very. That's not
well,
very.
so,
That's,
okay,
a lot of
sorry, go
people
ahead.
that deal with rhabdo, bro, it takes them way longer to recover than that.
Because that's your
So
body cannibalizing your muscles instead
that's
of
your body cannibalizing your muscle tissue. Absolutely.
your fat.
So when
And
you
see,
think about
when
it,
you boxing and you cutting weight, that's the fine line. You got to keep watching your like when I used to cut weight, I had to keep the ketosis strips to make sure my body was in ketosis, because if not, once you start seeing that mineral, when you start seeing protein in your piss, that
yeah,
means your body's starting to hit them damn muscles, and that's when you need to back up off of it instead of it just hitting the fat. So you want to get
exactly,
the fat, the
absolutely,
water up out of that, but once it starts getting your muscle mass and your muscles tissues,
yeah.
then that starts being detriment to your body. You can't do that.
People could die from rhabdo. It's very crucial.
Well,
But
no,
like you said,
your body can start cannibalizing itself, and then sometimes it can start a reaction where it won't stop. No matter if you put the protein back in your body
yeah,
just start cannibalizing itself, and it would just continue to doing it. No matter if you put the
absolutely.
protein not
And for
in your body.
that's what I'm saying. For Virgil to come back, be out the ring for over a year, but deal with a medical condition that was very serious, come back and still get a stoppage. I'm not as low on that performance as a lot of people are. I understand the
I mean, it's
circumstances
like a boot
behind that
fight.
performance.
It was like a
So
boot fight. He was fighting a slick fighter. That dude didn't
understand
get
that
all them
performance.
wins. That dude didn't get all them wins without knockouts for being a slouch. That man,
And
he was a
he
slick
was a
fighter.
southpaw too. You know what I'm saying? You come back out the situation to fight a southpaw and you were out for 14 months, 12 over a year. I don't know exactly the months, but you were out for over a year and you were in the hospital.
That
This is
man,
not something
that man was
people
22 and
think that
0.
shit is just people think boxers are just machines. But yeah, bro, it takes a little while for your body to recover and get back on the step. So
That
I
man was
think that Virgil
22 and 0
Ortiz will
with
be
2
better in this fight
knockouts.
against Stanley Jones. And I think he's going to show people that how really good of a fighter he is. And I think
Well, that
people are going to
man,
be surprised how much he improves in this performance from the last one because he's not dealing with a medical condition.
I mean, there's a lot of fight
like I said,
that needs to happen. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of fight that needs to happen. That needs to, we can't just sit on this one. I mean, there's so many fights out there, that are incredible for boxing.
Canelo fighting a black fighter, that'd be incredible. Or a Mexican fighter.
But let me read this up for a minute for Swift 718. Thank you again. We're gonna make it rain. Make it.
Right.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. Swift 718. Go ahead, read it for me.
Oh, wait, he dropped another one, and I lost the one. Okay, the biggest fight in the last 50 years, but there's no guaranteed purse. Missed one of my $50 super chats, so he actually reposted it. Here you go, and we gotta make it rain for that one. Ready, go.
Make it rain.
My son made this beat.
Make it.
Yeah, he made this beat, so but yeah, you go ahead. I can't see
Pay-per-view needs to be scaled back, reserved for super fights, because the paying audience has been tapped out unless it's an event they are clamoring for. Tank versus H. Garcia for $80 is a ripoff, even with Boots, Speedy, and Boo Boo in spotlight fights. Showtime card.
I didn't mind paying for that fight right there, because he gave me 4 premium fights on that fight. And like Tank by himself is usually a draw, regardless. But you gave me Boots, Rashidi, and you gave me Boo Boo Andrade. That's 4 premium fighters. I mean,
and we got an upset in it, and
we got an upset. We had drama.
Yeah, I don't know what's that. Yeah,
we had everything that we wanted in that fight.
Here's the thing, though. Like, if you feel ripped off, you feel ripped off. Like, I mean, you paid for it. You feel like you didn't get your money's worth. I felt like I got my money's worth. I paid for it, and then I went to my kid's house and watched it. I watched with my son, like my 24-year-old, and he streams everything because that's a badge of honor, right? That's a rite of passage for the Zoomers. They gotta hack everything. So I don't know. I felt like it was cool.
I mean,
all around.
I think what premium fights were like the best of the best, like Trinidad versus Oscar De La Hoya. You know what I'm saying? Or Fernando Vargas and Oscar De La Hoya. I think like back in the days, those were the things that we kind of want to compare as a premium fight as compared to, you know, we got Shukasha and Boots. Boots is a great fighter. We want to watch that fight, but it would have been better if it was Ortiz or somebody else,
Well,
right?
I think that like the hugest part was like when we did our breakdown, right? When Nino Damos did his breakdown, it was more so the fact that everyone thought that it was supposed to be all pretty much one-sided fights. They thought it was like a walk in the park. That's what they said. They're like, oh, these are all like throwaway fighters, and they're showcasing, you know, Boots, Speedy, and all them. But it ended up being more exciting than we had thought, from what I felt.
From the paper, the way the paper looked, it looked like it was going to be an easy night for everybody.
I would have rather see Rashidi and Boots switched fighters, because Rashidi fights kind of like that dude Boots fought against, and that dude wouldn't have been running around the whole time, and you know, him and Rashidi could have had a battle of the sweet science. And
it could have been a good fight.
And Boots,
you know, I mean, they negotiated.
Yeah, and Boots and Boots and Villa, that could have been a hard nose, slug it out. We get to see Boots push to his limits, because you know that Villa guy, he was coming to fight. And I think the matchmakers messed up on them two fights right there, because if they would have switched it up, we would have probably had better fights out of them two. Because that Villa and Boots, that would have been a hell of a fight.
Villa and Boots probably would have been the better one, right? I don't know. Rashidi and the Rashidi and the other guy. Maybe.
Yeah, because see, I've watched Kareem. I've watched some of Kareem fights. He don't run like that. He ran like that when he felt Boots' power. And see, Rashidi ain't got the power that Boots has. So he would have probably stood there and fought with Rashidi and boxed around.
I see. Yeah, I see.
Because see, he even admitted, he said he felt Boots' power. Like, they did an interview with him. He said he felt that power, and he said he knew he had to get away from it and try to tire him out. See, Rashidi ain't got that power.
Cool if they had switched their opponents.
Yeah, I think that would have been a great fight.
Yeah, Rashidi and Karen would have been a great fight.
Oh man, you'd have seen Villa would have got stopped.
Hey, but it would have been a great fight, and Rashidi and Karen would have been a great fight.
Hell yeah, Boots would have stopped his ass.
100%. I think. I mean,
hey, but where the fuck do Samson be finding these motherfuckers? Like, bro, I swear, when I knew he was with Samson, I was like, I'm gonna bet on this dude Villa. I don't know, because Samson be putting boys in position. Samson be like, yo, I like this. I like this Rashidi fight, and he was talking how his boy is a power puncher, how they got a game plan late in the fight. And I said, man, Samson always find a diamond in the rough. You get what I mean? So I was scared for Rashid.
I mean, did you hear Samson tell the boxing boys to rewatch the fight? Like, because they had Samson after the fight, and you know, of course, people were booing the cats, and he was like, Ness. He's like, Ness, Danny, like, I'm asking you, like, rewatch the fight. Won that fight. Like, he was very.
I had it for Rashidi still by a point. I ain't gonna lie. I thought the worst it could have been was the draw. I understand.
Yeah.
But that's why you gotta win them championship rounds in boxing. That's why they call them championship rounds, because that leaves a lasting impression in the judges' minds.
Yep.
In round by round scoring, that shouldn't matter.
Absolutely, Smoke. I agree 1,000%. Say that one more time, Smoke.
In round by round scoring, that shouldn't matter.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you know, it's like this too, you know. You win the whole round and then they steal the 10 seconds. That shouldn't matter. Mm-hmm. But for judges, it does. You know, it depends on who's putting that pen, who's holding that pen. You know, it's just they need to get rid of all those
closing the round.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can do. I don't know what you can do about that though. Like, because that is the last thing you see. Like, I mean, Sugar Ray was a master at that thing. The flurry of the last 10 seconds, because especially like in a hotly contested round, how you end the round.
Floyd used to do that,
right? I mean, it would be a little bit like too much to ask the judges to do this, but you'd break down the round into minutes. So, and you would be like, who won the first round? Like, you basically have, okay, so let's just say, blue and red. So you have a B and you have an R, and then you have the round broken into 3 rounds, and then you'd be like, minute 1, and they're like ping, and then you just put a slash on who won that 1 minute.
And you know what you do?
I think that it could be a little bit more, a little bit more clearer. So if you see at the end of the 3 minutes, and you look at your tally, and you're like, okay, this guy won the first 2 minutes, and this guy won the last minute, it should go to the guy who won the first 2 minutes.
Unless he got a big shot in there, he might have got.
And
have more clicky boxes.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is like now the way judge, I mean, back in the days, it was always about, it doesn't matter how much you throw the punches or how much you landed. It was how much you control the punch, how much, I mean, the
ring
fight,
generalships.
you beat the guy.
Yeah, he said ring generalship.
Yeah.
Ring generalship.
Yeah, who
But
was
you know,
winning?
they need to do round by round. They need to do round by round scorings where it's electronic, where they have it marked down. So, and have a committee to keep watch over it to see the way the judges are scoring the rounds and everything. And if it's a discrepancy, like have a committee to check if it's a discrepancy to see what the hell that judge is scoring.
See, all that I hear, like, so I have a friend who's like an amateur judge, right? And they do that whole thing about the last minute. Well, this is his own preference. Like the last minute, he places a higher value on the previous 2 minutes. And then they also have like committees. I mean, they do it all. And I think a lot of the amateurs that turn pro, they may have grown up in the system where like the scoring is just a little bit different, where they have that idea about like the last minute is the thing, like a little bit more important than everything that came before it.
You know what's crazy, Smoke? When I was in the amateurs, that's what they kept telling me. You gotta win the last minute. That's what the judges look for.
They remember.
You know, so for us in the amateurs, we would go crazy on the last minute because we knew that the judges were looking at the last minute. It's like they fell asleep and woke up at the last minute and then judged the fight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But what we're gonna do, guys, it's almost 12. We have to be at the gym at 1:30. You have to pack and you have to eat something. Do you guys want to have your closing words, YB? Do you want to drop your channel, et cetera, et cetera? Tell people, tell the girls what your Tinder profile is. I don't know.
Hey, you know the girls already know. You know what I mean? Hey, but you know what? Billionaire Boxing. They call me YB. Shout out to my man Smoke. You know, good talking to you, Smoke. You know, me and you always got to get at it. Shout out to my man Professional, and shout out to my man Get the Smoke and Kingpin Nito. Shout out to Rachel. Starting fights in Philly, man. But I don't want to speak on that. We're gonna let it ride.
You, bro.
We're gonna let it ride. They like beating people up at the bar, man. I'm trying to pull people off, but I don't want to get to it. I'm gonna grab people, picking up the glasses, moving purses, but grabbing phones. I don't want to speak on it.
Yeah.
Hey, they want to take me to this place on Black Horse Pike. I said, man, where we going? They're like, no, it's cool. Hey, they were warned. Look, they were warned that it wasn't a great place to be.
No, they told me after.
Yeah,
I told you, Rachel. I said, where we going?
Me and you was singing in the karaoke.
We sang. I know, but I told you this ain't the place to be. I said, man, this, we might get some bad apples coming here. But I said we are in rural New Jersey. But all right, guys. Love y'all, man. Love you, Benito. Have a good day, Rach. Love y'all. Big Smoke. Much love to you, brother.
Yeah.
Man. Thank you for the knowledge too, and everybody in the chat. Blessings.
And just to back up your thing, right? There was one round that I could not score really between Kovalev and Ward. I just couldn't figure it out, and I was like, Ward.
Nah, I had Ward winning when I watched it too by a point or something. I was like 8-4.
That is an 8-4. That's why that's where the 8-4 comes in. That was like a round I just really couldn't pick. Go ahead, but anyway.
Well, yeah, bless up. Good shit, Smoke.
Smoke, do you want to drop your channel?
First name Get, middle name This, last name Smoke. Check us out, man. And shout out to Rach and Nonito. Love you guys' stream. This is the closest thing to free smoke. I thought that you guys. This is kind of interesting. I didn't realize that Nonito likes it a little bit, huh? You like the fans. You like to egg it on.
Here's the thing: is that nobody wants to free smoke with us because it's like they like. I mean, even when we had Ivan Redcash here, like we're like, dude,
I like to poke people. I like to poke
say
people.
something, and he's like, so out of respect, and we're like, dude, we're just like.
It's just like I want to see people's thing, and their reaction and things like that, But I think this is a good thing with Swift, though. Let me read this stuff for a minute, and dance too, But I like this stuff, Hey, there you go. hey, Bay Area. Swift 718. Can you read that for me?
I blame the state of boxing on the promoters. Never been easier in history with social media to reach a global audience, but they're lazy. The extended promotions is booking sites, schedule fights, and a few interview fight week.
See,
I agree.
100%. I can talk about this thing all fucking
So
day.
wait, why don't? Well, okay, so tomorrow is War Wednesday. So tomorrow, War Wednesday, let's go after the promoters.
Yeah, let's go after the promoters on War Wednesday. Bring your stuff, man. But I do like this stuff, Smoke. You know, it's with me. If you can prove me wrong, like, yeah, you're right. You're right. You know, if not, then please do come with something. You know what I'm saying? Like this is what it's all about. The passion of boxing and what people think happen in the side of this or the side of that, and they don't see
and good
what
questions.
really goes.
Good
Hey,
questions.
hey, I want y'all to. I'm gonna say it right here.
No, go ahead, Echelon.
Hold on 1 second, bro. I'm sorry, Smoke. I'm gonna say it right here. I want everybody to hear me first, right now. Stephen Fulton will stop Inouye in 9 or 10 rounds. Watch what I tell you.
There you go.
So you said stop it. Wow.
Hey, that's for tomorrow, bro. That's for tomorrow.
You say what, Nonito?
I mean, War Wednesday is everything, really. That's what he's saying right now, you know?
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm letting y'all know. Anybody want to make a bet? Anybody want to make a bet that Fulton stops him?
Yeah. I mean, I was talking to Scooter, you know, he's a cool dude. So, you know, he's at the level now where this is one of those things that he really got to show up in the fight.
Yeah, he's going to Japan, so he's going to have to stop him.
I don't know. Did Japan? I don't know. Japan is known for robberies, are they?
I mean, you know, Inouye is national pride, but
sometimes, you know, I
think every freaking country has had
because you got to remember, Murata lost in Japan when he should have won the fight. Do you all remember that fight?
Hassan and Dom. The Hassan and Dom fight. He rematched him. I thought Hassan like it was a little bit like it looked like Hassan had some success. But I thought Murata won that pretty handily. But
yeah. I mean, if it was close, they should have given it to that fighter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but I mean, you know, it is what it is. Yeah. But I appreciate you guys.
Yeah. So you're getting in over Tank, bro. Yeah, and also it's not 5 years anymore. Rachel is 3 now. But yeah, you're getting in over Tank.
What? What's 5 and 3?
No, the Hall of Fame. It used to be you have to retire for 5.
Oh, it ain't 5 years no more.
3 years. Yeah, it's only 3 years.
3?
Oh, wow.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Do you know how many fighters come back after 3? That they should have kept it at 5, but
right.
But yeah. Anyway, guys, we'll see you guys tomorrow for War Wednesday, and everyone who sent over.
Upper Echelon didn't get to say.
Oh, Upper Echelon. Sorry.
Yeah, please do.
Drop your stuff.
Y'all can find me on Upper Echelon Sports Bar. I just did a promotion for the the Fulton and Inouye fight. You know, just to show people how big it is, because you know that man's coming up to the 122 division, and he's daring to be great. So I can't take nothing away from the man, because he could have sat there, and not fight the best, but he's coming up to fight the best. And hell, if he beats Fulton, then he just need one more fight for undisputed.
Yeah,
MJ, but I don't think he's gonna get past Fulton. But hey, it's a great fight for us as the fans. We get to watch it. So
yeah,
I appreciate you coming here, brother. I appreciate everybody who came in the panel and everybody out there. You know, big love and much respect, and a big shout out to Swift 718 for all the love today.
Yeah, and all you guys
and
who
great question
are
coming
dropping
in.
Those super chats. We are gonna set up all of the money that goes into our YouTube is funneling into a 501c3 nonprofit. But we are going to give you guys the option to just actually fund the nonprofit and not go through YouTube. So you
can get a tax deduction off of that, right?
Yeah, so we're setting that up as well. That will be, just give me some time through my busy schedule to get this set up. The 501c3 nonprofit's already set up. It's just how to make sure that you guys are getting in touch with us when you send the donation over, so we can read your comments on the screen, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
But you guys, tomorrow's War Wednesday, and I think we might be talking about how promoters are blocking fights, and we're just going to have fire. So that's going to be a smoke fest.
Yes,
you
and
guys
that was coming from Swift 718. You know how
let's do it tomorrow.
Promoters are pretty much ruining boxing by not promoting and doing their job.
I said the exact same thing
for a long time.
718 is said.
YB, say what's up to you, my brother. I'll see you soon. To everybody out there, again, thank you. I hope y'all learned some stuff today. You know, stay true, stay blessed, and I'm grateful to y'all.
On tomorrow.
I'm Jarrell. And I am Logan. Thank you for watching this video. And don't forget to like and subscribe the video. And hit the bell. Ding, ding, ding. KO! Jinx, got ya.
Benito the Nail. Filipino, flash, flash, Filipino.